analyst. I work with Sahara Power Group, where I manage 4 companies across the entire power value chain, from the biggest power generating company in sub-Saharan Africa to the largest power distribution company in West Africa. I have over 7 years experience cutting across management consulting and data analytics. Okay, so I started out my career as a management consultant, but then along the line, I switched into data analytics. I've trained well over 4,500 people across different levels. All right, so please feel free to ask your questions. I'll be very happy to share my experience and share my ideas with you. I use very simplified teaching methods during my session, and I try to answer every single questions that you have. My first degree was in industrial chemistry, and I graduated with the first class in industrial chemistry. So for those of you that studied psychology, or you studied nursing, or you studied chemistry, or you studied microbiology, you are in the right place. Okay, whatever you studied, your background does not limit your ability or the opportunities you can actually tap into getting into data analytics. And these are some of the things we'll be discussing today during our session. Okay, so let's get started. I'm giving you a broad overview of what we do at Tenalytics and why we exist. And one of the things we pride ourselves on is the quality of our facilitators and the quality of our trainers. They are from the best of the best organizations across the globe. We have facilitators from organizations like Google, Andela, Sahara, KPMG, Deloitte, and so many other organizations where you have professionals that do data analytics on a day-to-day basis and will help you transition into data analytics. All right. Now, what are we going to be learning today? We'll be showing you how to build a dashboard. Okay, we're going to predict the price of Ethereum. All right, we'll predict the price of Ethereum for the next 6 months or the next 10 months. And then we'll also build the dashboards to show the historical performance of Ethereum over the years. Okay, we'll see that. And we'll also show you the pathway to becoming a data analyst in Canada, in the US, and the UK, and as well, of course, in Europe as well. Or what are the things you need to learn first? What are the things you need to look out for to get into data analytics across your own specific region? And then we have a special offer for you, and we'll talk about the offer towards the end of the session, and that's only for those that stay to the end of the session. And we'll also speak about the Tenalytics Growth Internship, which forms a major building block to you getting into the space for somebody who has no experience, no knowledge in data analytics. The Growth Internship is a super amazing project. We are very proud of the work that we do in that space. And we'll talk about how you can also get opportunities from there as well. Okay. Now we're going to get our hands busy, and right from the beginning, we'll start building a dashboard. Like I said, the dashboard would help us predict the price of Ethereum for the next 10 months. And then we'll also see the performance of Ethereum as well for the past 5 years. How has Ethereum performed? If you joined a similar masterclass we did last week, we did, the same similar, prediction on Bitcoin. This is not financial advice, just to put a disclaimer. We are learning how to use Power BI as a tool, as a data analytics tool to leverage data, get insights out of data. That's what we want to do. Okay, and this is what we're going to build. Our dashboard would look like this. Our dashboard would look like this, and then you can see the prediction at the bottom over here. We'll predict what the price of Ethereum would look like going into 2023, and we'll also see the historical performance from 2018 till date. The last 5 years, from 2018 till date, how has the performance of Ethereum looked like? We're going to build this dashboard before the end of today's session. Now you don't need any knowledge. You don't need any background in data analytics. You don't need to have seen Power BI before to build this particular dashboard. Okay, step by step, I'll walk you through the process from how to download Power BI as an application and how to connect to the data and build this same dashboard. One thing I can guarantee you at the end of the session is that you'll be able to build something similar by the end of today's session, okay? So for those that stay till the end, you get the recording of the session that will be sent to everybody. You get the recording, and at your own quiet time, you can go back and start to build your dashboard, all right? That's the best way you can get optimal value from this session. Now, if you want to follow what I'm doing step by step, that's also fine. However, it's possible you might miss a step. And because of the time constraints, we want to complete this particular session within a given time, limit. So I would have the time to always go back and explain and explain and explain. So the best way you can get value, maximum value, is watch what I'm doing. I would explain in details. At the end of the session, when you get the recording, you can go back and implement and build your own dashboard. Okay, so let's get started. How can we build something like this? How can we build this dashboard, and where do we even get our data from? And this is one of the most important aspects we'll also be talking about today. You are learning Power BI for the first time. And even for people that have used Power BI over the years, being able to connect Power BI to data on the web is a major challenge. Some people have used Power BI for the past 5 years and they don't know how to connect Power BI to the web. By the end of today's session, you'll learn how to do that 100%. Okay, so once again, you're all welcome on board. I'm super excited to have you join us. Please feel free, ask your questions in the Zoom chat if you have questions, and I would answer your questions from time to time. I'll pop in there to take your questions. Additionally, I can see your message. The session is recorded by us and by all the other admin on the group. Okay, so by the end of today's session, everybody that stays till the end would get access to the recording. This will be sent to you. All right. Now, how do you download Microsoft Power BI as a tool, an application to build a dashboard like this? All right, we're going to see how we can get that done. So first of all, if you don't have Power BI installed on your computer, which is fine, I'll show you how to install Power BI. How do you get Power BI? How do you install Power BI? And how do you use Power BI to build something like this? Okay, all you need to do is go to your browser. All right, open a browser. I'm currently on Google Chrome. So just open Google Chrome and just type in Power BI, desktop, or just type in download Power BI. All right, you'll see different pop-ups. Okay, download Power BI desktop. Click on that. Download Power BI desktop. So just do a search. Download Power BI desktop. What's the full meaning of Power BI? The full meaning of Power BI simply means Microsoft Power Business Intelligence. BI means business intelligence. And business intelligence is an aspect of data analytics. All right? So if you want to come up with insights from data, where you have a flow of the process, where you get your data from, how you get the data, how you transform the data, analyze the data, and come up with a dashboard similar to what I showed you on my slide a few seconds ago. What you're doing is called what? Business intelligence. And the tool that would enable you carry that out is the Power BI from Microsoft Power BI. And that's what we want to download. Okay, if you open up your browser, you do a search, download Power BI desktop, you see different, options, and all you need to do is click on the first one. For example, Microsoft.com. If I click on Microsoft Power BI desktop, I'll open in a new tab. Okay, so let's see what we have. And it takes us to where we can download Power BI straight away. All right, if I scroll down a little bit, I'll see the button, the red button that says download. If I click on download, I'll see the Power BI, files. I can download, any of the two files. I can download the two. Okay. I can select the 64 bits. Of course, you can only download this file if your computer is a 64-bit computer. All right. So if you have a 64 bits, just click on this click on next. If you click on next, it starts to download Microsoft Power BI for you. Now, for those using Mac, the process is a bit different, right? Because you don't have a typical version of Power BI on Mac, all right? So you have to use a virtual environment like Parallels or VirtualBox that would enable you what? Install Power BI on that virtual environment on your Mac. Now, the steps and the process to installing Power BI on your Mac would also be sent to you at the end of the session, okay? Now, sometimes when you click on the link, it doesn't bring you directly to the parts that showed you download straight away, okay? What if you don't see that part and maybe you clicked on the second link, for example? If I right click and open new tab on the second link, it takes you to the Power BI page itself, not to where you just see download and click on download. So it brings you here, download Power BI tools and applications. If you scroll down, you'd see the Microsoft Power BI desktop. So you have the Microsoft Power BI desktop, you have the Microsoft Power BI mobile for your mobile phone, okay? Now the Power BI mobile cannot be used to what? Build a dashboard. You can use the Power BI mobile to view a dashboard. So you see the dashboard I've created on my Power BI. I can send that dashboard to you and you can view it on your mobile device if you have the Power BI mobile on your phone, okay? But to build the dashboard I just showed you, you need the Microsoft Power BI desktop to do that, all right? How do you download? You have two options under the desktop. You have download and you have advanced download options, okay? What you want to select is the advanced download options. If you click on download, it takes you to the Microsoft Store. So you need a Microsoft account, it takes you to the Microsoft Store and installs Power BI for you, all right? But you want to download the file and install, so you click on advanced download options. So once you click on advanced download options, it brings you to that first stage that it brought us to when I clicked on the first link. So it brings you here, and then you see the button that says download. You can click on download, select the Power BI desktop setup, click on next, and it starts to download Power BI for you. Now, the installation process is seamless, okay? It's as seamless as bread and butter. All you need to do is click next, 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 next until you are done installing. There is no major technical stuff you have to do. Download Power BI, it downloads into a file. You see the file, the Power BI setup file, double click on it. Once it's installing, just click next, 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 until you have Power BI successfully installed on your computer. Okay, once you have installed Power BI, you are good to go. You can start building and doing amazing stuff, all right? And I'll show you how you can use Power BI to do some amazing stuff today. And I'll reiterate one more time. You don't have to have used Power BI before. If this is your first time of seeing Power BI, of even hearing about Power BI, like I said, you are good, you are in good hands. I'll show you by the end of today, you'll get a recording, you'll get the slides, you'll go to your browser, download and install Power BI, and then you can build the things I'll be showing you today. That's 100% guaranteed, all right? So just watch my process, watch my steps, ask your questions. I look forward to the questions that you have. Okay, again, we are building a dashboard to show Ethereum's performance. We did Bitcoin last week. This week, we're doing Ethereum. We'll see the performance of Ethereum for the past 5 years, and would also do what? Would also forecast and predict the price of Ethereum. Once again, this is not financial advice. We are learning how to use Microsoft Power BI as a tool, leveraging data on the web to build amazing stuff, to get insights from data that exists on the web, okay? And that's the amazing part. Like I said, a lot of people can use Power BI, but they cannot connect to Power BI on the web. So you're not just learning how to use Power BI, you are learning how to use Power BI and you're learning an additional skill of connecting Power BI to the web. So sit back, relax, enjoy the session. Feel free to ask a question. And at the end of the practical, I'll then talk to you about how to navigate your way to becoming a data analyst, to getting your foot into the data analytics space and leveraging all the opportunities that exist within the ecosystem to transform your career. All right. Now, let's assume you've installed Power BI. You've downloaded, you've installed Power BI, and you want to see what Power BI looks like. All you need to do is go to your search bar, go to the search bar on the search icon on your taskbar, click on search, and then just type Power BI. Okay, Power BI. You see the Power BI desktop, you see the application, okay? And all you need to do is click on it. Just click on the Power BI desktop, and that would launch the Power BI application for you, okay? It might take a few seconds to come up, but just give it time. The Power BI will come up eventually. Okay, so Power BI has loaded. This is what it looks like. You can see the first page. You just have a screen that shows collaborate and share, get started. You don't need to click on anything here. Okay, you can simply close. Click on close at the top right corner to close this first page, and then it takes you into the Power BI application. And this is what Power BI looks like. We need to add data in order to start to build dashboards and build reports and so on and so forth. Okay, can't install Power BI on Mac. Yeah, so like I said, Oluwayemi Kehinde, like I said, Power BI is not available on Mac as a an application on Mac. It's not, but you can install it on Mac. Okay, you can install Power BI on Mac. So no need to fret. Don't worry. We'll send you the steps on how to get that done by the end of today's session. All right, we'll send that to you on how to install Power BI on Mac. It's a straightforward process. We'll send that to you. Now, this is the Power BI application. Now you see this screen. The first page, this is your canvas. If you are an artist, this is your paint canvas. You build amazing stuff on this particular page. All right. Now, we want to get data to show us Ethereum's performance over the last 5 years. Where do we get that data from? The data is on the web. Okay, the data is on the website called Yahoo Finance. We all know Yahoo, yahoo.com, yemisi@yahoo.co.uk, yemisi@yahoo.com, and so on and so forth. Yahoo Finance has the data that we need to build our dashboard. So we're going to see how we can connect our Power BI to that data on the web from Yahoo Finance, bring it into Power BI, and start to build an amazing dashboard. A dashboard that looks like what I have on my slide. Okay, how can we get that done? Let's start. Let's look at what the data, let's check for the data, let's see what the data looks like, and then we'll identify how to bring that data into Power BI. So again, I'll go to my browser. I want to get to the data location. Where is the data I would need or I would use to build my dashboard? It's on Yahoo Finance, okay? So I'll go to my browser and I'll simply type Yahoo Finance, okay? I'll just type Yahoo Finance and you can see the websites, Yahoo Finance, Stock Market Live, Quotes Business, and so on. I'll just click on the link to take me to the Yahoo Finance website, right? And this is Yahoo Finance. Okay, you can see the prices of the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and so many other stuff. But what we want to get is the historical performance of Ethereum. Like I mentioned, we did Bitcoin last week. This week, we'll be looking at the performance of Ethereum. So what I'll do is I'll go to search. I'll go to the search bar and I'll type Ethereum. Okay. Once I start typing Ethereum, you'll see the ETH USD, Ethereum USD. That's what I want. So the moment I start typing Ethereum, before I even finish typing, you'll see it appear. So I'll click on ETH/USD. I'll click on that and it will show me the Ethereum USD. So today, as we speak, as at 4:21 p.m. UTC, this is 4 a.m. This is in the US, I guess. This is the price of Ethereum. So as we speak, the price of Ethereum is about $1,300. So one Ethereum to the US dollars is what? $1,318. Okay. And we can see below, we have the summary, we have the charts, conversations, historical data, and profile. All right. But what we really want to see is the historical data. If Ethereum is 1318, what was Ethereum 5 years ago? Has it improved? Or will it improve going into the future? Okay, so I'm going to click on historical data. I'll click on historical data. I'll click on that. And once I click on historical data, I can see the currency in USD. And I can see something that looks like a table at the bottom. All right. And that table has the dates, open, high, low, close, adjusted close, and the volume. So the volume is simply the volume of Ethereum that was traded. So today, the 25th of September, you have over 10 billion worth of Ethereum traded today. Yesterday was 12 billion. The day before was 18 billion, 18.7. So you can see that the volume is it's humongous. All right. So we want to get the data for the past 5 years. Remember, historical data. The time period we can see here says 25th of September 2021 to 25th of September 2022. So this is just 1 year data. All right. We want data for what? 5 years. We want data for 5 years. So I'll go to the time period and I'll adjust it so that I can get the data for 5 years. So I'll click on the drop down. And you can see, you can get the data for the last 1 day, the last 5 days, the last 3 months, the last 6 months. I want data for what? 5 years. So I'll click on what? 5 years, 5 year. And I can see that the data shows from September 2017 to September 2022. So data for the last 5 years, that's what I've just done. Okay. I would also go to the frequency. The frequency is currently daily, meaning that every single day for the last 5 years, I'll see the historical data for Ethereum. But what I want to see is the monthly data, the data based on the monthly perspective. So in June, for example, what was the price of Ethereum? In July, what was the price? August, September, for the last 5 years, that's what I want to see. So I'll go to the frequency, and I'll change the level, the granularity as well. From daily, I'll change it to what? Monthly. Change it from daily to what? Monthly. And then I'll click on apply. So the moment I click on apply, you would see the difference. Okay, now I can see the dates. The dates, the first one says 25th of September 2022. 1st of September 2022, August, July, June, May. So it's monthly because I have adjusted the frequency to monthly. And if I scroll down all the way to the bottom, you'd see that it starts from when? October 1st, 2017 to November 2017, December 2017, then January, then February, March, April, May. Okay, now we have 5 year worth of data for Ethereum's price. And we have the open, we have the high, we have the low, we have the close. So open means as at the 25th of September, Ethereum opened at this price, 1,318. It went as high as 1,333. And it went as low as 1,303. And it closes, or it has closed at 1,316. Today hasn't ended, so this figure is going to be what? Updated. Now the data is live. It is live data. So when there is a change, this would also what? Change. When there is a change, this would also change. So it's live data. Okay, it is live data. Now, let's see how we can bring in this data into Power BI. So let's go back to Power BI. Power BI is an application, is a tool, is a business intelligence application. Somebody asked, what's the meaning of Power BI? BI means business intelligence, okay? What we want to do now is, how can I connect my Power BI to that data on Yahoo Finance? That's a very good and a very big question, okay? Now, Power BI is intuitive. Without even looking too far, you can see this icon that says get data. So I want everybody on the call, I want you to guess, what does get data do for us? If I click on get data, for example, even if you've never used Power BI before, what do you think get data will do? Just type that out in the chat. Let me see what you think. Just take a wild guess. Get data, what does it do for us? Type your answer in the chat and send it. Let me see what you think. Insert data, that's what Ismaila is saying. Aisha says get data from source. Aderonke says import data, specify sources, that's what Jude is saying. Import data from various data sources, import data from websites and so on. Fantastic. So the get data itself is pretty intuitive, and that's how Power BI is. Power BI is very straightforward. Okay, you see get data and it tells you that if you want to import data, you want to bring data into Power BI, you want to connect Power BI to a data source, okay, you go to where? Get data. So we are simply going to do what? Click on the drop down beside get data. I'll click on the drop down and then you'd see the common data sources. You can connect your Power BI to Excel. You can connect Power BI to a SQL Server database. You can connect Power BI to a text, CSV files, and so many data sources. But the data source I want to connect to for the purpose of this session is on the web, is on the website. So I'll select web. Get data from where? From the web. I click on web. So once you click on web, you'll be required to enter the URL. Okay, give me the URL of that website. Give me the web address of that website so I can go to that location. I can go to that particular website and get the data for you. That's simply what Power BI wants you to do. So Power BI is taking all the headache. Power BI wants to remove all the stress from you. Soft life, soft work. You don't need to go out there to start hustling and looking for the data. Power BI will do that work for you. Get the data from the website and bring it to your doorstep. But you have to give Power BI the address so that Power BI can go there to get it for you. So let's go and get the address of that data source. So I'll go back to my Yahoo Finance, get the address, and bring it back here so Power BI can go get it for me. Okay, so I'll go back to my browser. This is what the data looks like, right? We have specified the time period. We have also specified monthly. Now, the download icon over here, because we want our data to be live, we always want to ensure that the data, if the data here changes, our data also changes in our dashboard. I would right click on the download button, and then I would copy link address. Copy what? Link address. Let me take it one more time. I'll go to the download button. I've specified my time period. I've specified it's monthly. I have clicked on apply to apply 5-year data and on a monthly perspective, right? I'll go to download. I'll right click on the download button and then I'll click on what? Copy link address. I'll click on that. So once you click on copy link address, you've copied the URL to this particular data. We're going to give that URL to Power BI. Power BI would come here and get the data for us. So let's go back to Power BI. Okay. Now I'll paste that URL in this space over here. I can right click and I'll click on paste, or I can just simply do a Control V to what? To paste. So I'll click on paste and that is the URL. Okay, so you can see it's a very long URL and it will go to Yahoo Finance, access that particular source and bring in the data from. So Power BI will do all the hard work. You don't need to go to a website and select and start copying and do all those funny stuff. No, give Power BI the link. Power BI will go there, get it for you and get it done. So now I'll click on OK. And the moment I click on OK, Power BI will show me how do I want to connect? Anonymous, yes, I want to connect as anonymous because I don't need any login credential to get access to that website. If I needed a login credential, I'll need to select any of the other options. But it's free data available for everybody and anybody. So I'm going to leave it on the default. I won't change anything and I'll click on what? Connect. And once you click on connect, Power BI is doing what? Is going to that website to get the data for you and bring it to your doorstep. Okay, can we copy from the URL above? Yes, you can, but please copy the way I have copied because we have applied some level of changes. We changed the period and we also changed the perspective as well. Give me monthly data instead of daily. So you want to copy the link address from the download button. That will give you the changes you've made to the data itself. Now you can see Power BI has gone there and it's showing us that, look, based on the first 200 rows, so the data is very long, but I can't show you everything at once. But look at this. Does this look like the data that you want? I can see my dates. I can see open, I can see high, I can see low, I can see close, adjusted close, and volume. This is the exact data that is on Yahoo Finance. Let's go back to Yahoo Finance and see. This is the exact data, right? The dates, open, high, low, close, adjusted close, and what? Volume. That's exactly what Power BI is showing me. So Power BI is showing me the first 200 rows to say that, okay, this is what I can see. Is this what you want? Does it look like what you want? Absolutely. This is what I want. So what I'll simply do is I'm going to click on what? Transform. I'll click on what? Transform data at the down right corner. Now, when you work with Power BI, you don't want to load directly. Why will you not load your data directly? You will not load data directly as an analyst because there might be changes you want to make on the data that you are connecting to. Data would hardly be in the right shape and right format for your analysis. So you want to make one or two changes. Even if it's just to change the headers on your data, you are making changes, okay? So for us, we always say it's almost a crime to load your data directly without, first of all, transforming, okay? So we're going to click on transform data. And once you click on transform data, it takes you into a new environment called the query editor. So the Power Query is simply what Power BI has done is, okay, I've gone to that website, I've gotten the data for you. You might want to make changes to that data so that the data is good. So Power Query, I've handed over this data to you. Go ahead and help Adeza see how you can make one or two changes before you bring it back to Power BI. Okay, so as an analyst, data would need to be either formatted. You want to change the orientation from horizontal to vertical. You might want to change the dates from US formats to UK formats. You might want to change one or two things in the data before you start your analysis. You do all of that in this particular environment called the Power Query Editor. Simple, straight to the point. To get to this point, you saw what we did. I clicked on transform data and it brought me here. Straight up. Now that I've come here, I'll first of all do what? I'll change the name of my table. The name of the table says Ethereum USD with a question mark, and that's simply because of the link that I copied. Okay, so I'll change the name of the table. All right. So where I have name under properties, I'll select everything that I have there. I'll delete and I'll give it a new name. I'll call the table ETHUSD. Okay, that's what I'll call the table, Ethereum USD, and then I'll hit enter. All right, so I've given the table a new name and I'm good to go. Okay, before I load, I've looked at the data before, so I know that the data is good. I don't need to make changes to the data. But before you load data into your Power BI, you want to check your data types. For each column, does it have the correct data type that you need for your analysis? Let's start from the first column. You have the dates. The date has the date data type. So if you click on this data type, you see the different data types that you have. And you can see that the date data type is this icon right in front of the date column that shows that what you have is a date data type, correct? So that's fine. If you go to the other column for open, open simply means this is the price in which Ethereum opened on that particular day. Okay, open has 1.2 in front of it, meaning decimal. 1.2 means a decimal data type. So if I click on 1.2, you can see 1.2 says what? Decimal number. So if you want to change the decimal to something else, maybe a whole number, you can click on that to change it to a whole number, but we're not changing it from decimal because what we have under open is actually what? Decimal numbers. Same with the high, same with low, same with close, and also the adjusted close and the volume. Volume is what? A whole number. You can see 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 means whole number. If I click on 1, 2, 3, you'll see it over here. 1, 2, 3 is what? Whole number. So we are good to go. Our data type is good. We don't need to make changes. We don't need to do any transformation. We are good to go. It's important that you come here and you look at the data one by one to be sure that you are good before you load. You don't just load directly into Power BI, okay? So now I'm confident I can load this data into Power BI. So I'll go to my home tab. Make sure you're on the home tab. Where you have close and apply, you click on the drop down under close and apply and click on close and apply. Okay, how do you know that the data is good? Now, if you have things within your data that will stop you from performing your analysis. So for example, you saw those data types I showed you. Maybe your date is not showing dates. Your date is showing text. You have to change it to what? A date. That's an example. Okay, if you look at all the data types and so on. Now, there are so many other intricacies that you can use if you have dirty data. Your data is not clean. You can clean up the data before your analysis. And dirty data is simply, I can use this as an example. If I have 35 plus 35, 35 plus 35 will give me what? I want somebody to tell me. 35 plus 35, it gives me what? What will it give me? Just type it in the chat. It gives me 70, right? Fantastic. 35 plus 35 gives me 70. If I have this 3#5 plus 35, what will this give me? If I have 3 with a hash and 5 plus 35, what will it give me? I want you to send that into the charts. If I have a hash in between 3 and 5, and I want to add 35, thank you very much, Olajide. Olajide says error. Thank you very much, Kachuku. Thank you, Fisayo. I'm going to get an error. Why will I get an error? I'll get an error simply because E with a hash and 5 means nothing. Okay, and that is an example of what? Dirty data. Dirty data. So for the person that asks, how do you know your data is good? Now, if you have things like this within your data, it means that you need to address it. Okay, but like I said, we're not going into the intricacies of data cleansing and all of that because of time. We have a limited time to do this, all right? The data is good. Yahoo Finance has done the hard work of cleaning the data before they put it on their website, so we are good to go, All right, let's continue. Now I have loaded my data into my Power BI. Now I can see my data over here, the table called ETHUSD, the name I gave the table. I can see it here. And if I click on the arrow in front of ETHUSD, it drops down and I can see all the columns in that table. Adjusted close, close, the date, high, low, open, and volume. Okay. The session is recorded, Henry. Don't worry, the session is recorded. Everybody that stays till the end will get the recording. You're going to get the recording. You're going to get the slides as well. You get all the materials for the class today, okay? So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the session. The session is what's recorded. All right, now let's start building our dashboard. Before you start building, you are building a house. I want you to tell me, when you have done all the architecture, you've done everything, you want to start the building process itself, what is the first thing you do before you start building on it? You must do something before you, the foundation. Thank you very much, Ayo. Thank you, Fisayo. Thank you, Rahman, Henry. You lay the foundation. Thank you very much, Inyoba, Anyete, foundation. So you must build the foundation. I'm not a civil engineer, but I know, you know, that's what everybody would, that's what you assume, right? That's what you have to do. You have the foundation first of all. You build the foundation. So we're going to build the foundation of our dashboard before we start building the dashboard itself. So let's build the foundation. Now, to build the foundation of our dashboard on this white background, you can see the background. We want our dashboard to be super amazing. Okay, super amazing, visually appealing, so that when I'm presenting it to my board of directors, or I'm presenting it to my head of department, or I'm presenting it to our clients that I'm building a dashboard for, they'll be like, you are just too good. Okay, when I do that presentation, they'll be like, who is that guy? He's super, super amazing. All right, how do you get that done? So first of all, let's make our dashboard look good. I'm going to change the color of the background to what? Black. I'll make it use a dark background. You use a dark background and dark background would make other colors pop. Other colors would pop out when you have a dark background. So let's make this background dark. Let's start with that. Okay. So make sure you are clicked on this dark background. It's not dark, I mean, on this blank background. Click on the blank background. Okay. Now, where you have visualizations, okay, you see this icon that says format your report page. I'm going to click on that icon that says format your report page. Okay, I'll click on that. And then once you click on format your report page, you'll see canvas background. This is my canvas. Remember, I said you're an artist. You want to paint and do amazing stuff, build amazing dashboard. This is your canvas background. I'll click on the drop down and you can see the color. The color of the background is white. Of course, you can see white on the screen. I'll change the color to what? I'll use a dark background. So I'll click on color and I'll change it to what? Black. Let's use a black background. So I'll click on black. Nothing happened when I clicked on black, right? And that's simply because if you go down a little bit, you'd see transparency, and transparency is on 100%. So I'm going to drag it all the way down to 0%. I don't want any transparency. So I'll drag it all the way down to 0%. And when I do that, my background will change to what? Black. That's the first thing we're going to do. We are building our foundation for the dashboard. We started by changing the background to black. That's the first thing. The next thing I want to do is I want to bring in Tenalytics logo. Of course, this amazing dashboard is done by the one and only Tenalytics. So how do we bring in Tenalytics logo to put a stamp and say, this is certified Tenalytics dashboard? All right, I'll go to my browser again and I'll search for Tenalytics logo. All right, when you're building yours, search for Tenalytics logo. So I'm just going to type in Tenalytics logo. Okay, you see the different logos you can possibly select. I'm just going to select any one, or I can click on images so I can see more. So let's click on this And let's see what this would bring up for us. So I click on images. Let's click on images. Okay, so you click on images, you see 10 analytics, and then I'm going to click on any of the images, right? Let's click on this one, and I can download this particular image for the logo. So I'm going to right click, and I'll say save image as, okay, and I can give it a name. I can say 10 analytics logo, okay, 10 analytics logo, something like that. Okay, just save it in your download, save it somewhere. We're going to bring it into our dashboard. Okay, 10 analytics logo. Once you've downloaded that, go back to your Power BI. Somebody has his hand up. Henry, you have your hand up. I guess you have a question. Please send your question to the chat, and I'll take your question. Thank you very much, John, for bringing my attention to that. Henry, please send your question to the chat. I'll take your questions from the chat. All right, now let's bring in the 10 analytics logo, certified 10 analytics dashboard. Okay, so I'll go to the insert tab. I have file, I have home, insert, modeling, view, and help. I'll click on insert. Once you click on the insert tab, it means you want to insert something into your dashboard. Okay, you'll see where you have at the right-hand side, just move to the right, move to the right, move to the right. You'll see what? Add an image to your report. Add an image to your report. I'll click on that, add an image to your report, and I'll select a 10 analytics logo. Okay, I'll select the logo, and I have the 10 analytics logo on my screen. Let's collapse filters. So you can see the 10 analytics logo, right? I'll make it small a little bit. I'll resize. But as I'm resizing, it's getting too small and too tiny because of all the spaces that you have. You have too much space at the top and at the bottom. So what I'll do is to make a little adjustment, okay, to this logo. I'll make sure I'm clicked on the logo, and at the right-hand side where I have format, I'll go to style, click on the drop-down under style, and I'll change the scaling from normal. I'll click on the drop-down, change it from normal to fill. I'll click on fill. And once I click on fill, I've solved that problem. Okay, so I can then adjust. So you can see the logo now. The logo looks very big. Okay, the logo looks very big. And now I can adjust it and make it smaller, and it doesn't look as, you know, distorted as it looked initially. All right, so let's make this smaller. Something like that. So that's the 10 analytics logo. At the top left corner over there, we're going to build our dashboard, and everybody would know that this particular dashboard is coming from where? From 10 analytics. Let me just expand this a little bit. Yes, so that's the logo. Okay, now let's start building. Now we've put in the logo, we can start building other areas of our foundation. Now let's put the overall layer on top of this black background. And to do that, I would also do that from insert. So I'd make sure I'm on insert, click on the insert tab, and at the right-hand side, you'd see insert a shape or add a shape to your report. Add a shape to your report. I'll click on the drop-down and select the shape called the rounded rectangle. Okay, I want something that will be nice, visually appealing, because data visualization itself is a science, and at the same time, it's also an art, okay? Because you want it to be visually appealing when you're presenting it to somebody, okay? So I'm going to click on rounded rectangle. Once you click on rounded rectangle, you see that appear on your screen, all right? I'm just going to take that right to the very top, and I would expand it. Let's expand. We would expand it to cover the entire page. Remember, we want to create the overall foundation before we start to build other things on top of it. You guys all told me what to do. When you're building a house, you start by building the foundation. That is what we are doing. This is the rounded rectangle. You can see the rounded edges, but the edges are too rounded. I want to reduce the way it's rounded. Let's make it a little bit more straight and not too rounded. All right. Make sure you are clicked on the rounded rectangle that you just added. Click on it. All right, make sure you have clicked on it. And under format, you'd see shape. Open the drop down from shape and reduce the percentage by which this rectangle is rounded. The corners are rounded. It's on 25%. We're going to reduce. I'll click on this arrow pointing downwards to reduce. So you can see the roundness is reducing. I'm going to leave it when it reduces to around, let's put it at 5 and let's see. 5 is okay. I'll leave it at 5. All right. Now, when I leave it at 5, you can see it's not too rounded anymore and it has covered more space. And that's what we want. We are good. It looks nice. It looks good to go. Okay. Now, but the color is a bit funny. Blue on top of black, especially this color, does not really go. So I want to use a color that is not black, but it has a color that would make the black show, and the black would also make that color appear very good. So I'm going to use a blue color, but a dark blue color, So I'll click on this rectangle that I've added. I'll click on it. Okay, and still under format, I'll click on shape. Olajide, I think you're writing on my screen. Don't write on the screen, please. Okay, so I'll click on this rectangle, still under format. I'll go to shape again. I'll go to shape. This time around, I'll go to style, not shape. I've done the corners already. So I'll go to style. I'll click on style. And under style, you'll see the color. Okay, and from the color, I'll click on the drop down. You can see that the color shows blue, very light blue. I'll click on the color and I'll select a darker blue. Something like this. Let me use a dark blue. Let me select this color, dark blue. So you can see the way it looks. The blue is a bit darker. Okay, but I even want it to be darker than what it currently is. Closer to the black background. Let's make it a bit darker. Okay, so I'll click on it again. I'll go back to style, go back to color, click on the drop down, and I'll click on more colors because I don't have a darker blue. This is the blue I selected. I want to make this darker. So I'll click on more colors. And from more colors, you'd see this circle. If I drag the circle to the top, you can see the color becomes light. If I drag it somewhere here, the color starts getting dark. So I'll drag it until the color gets darker. Let's see. It's getting darker, darker, something like this. And I'll leave it at that. Just a dark color. So when building yours, please feel free, explore with colors. Use colors that are good, visually appealing, contrasting colors that will bring out your dashboard, appropriately. Now, if I go back, I can see I have the dark blue color, but then I have this line. You can see the light color, the line on my shape. I want to take out this blue line, the light blue line. I want to take it out. So I'll click back on the shape. Okay, I'll go back to style. And from style, I'll take out the what? The border. I'll take out the border by it's currently on. I'll take it off by clicking on this slider, and that takes it out. So that line is no longer there. So you can see my background is black and I have this dark blue background. Okay, so now I can start to build all the other smaller stuff I want to put on this particular dashboard. Okay, so let's start. Let's start building. So first of all, I want to build all these shapes that will be at the top. So let's get back to the dashboard. This is what we want to build, right? This is what we are building. I want to build these shapes that would show the key performance indicators, the KPIs, the average open, average close, average high, average, average high, average low, and so on. This is meant to be average low. We're going to correct that when building it now. I want to do this. I want to build this, okay? And after that, we'll put in all the other shapes that we want to put. Now, always remember, when building your dashboard, there is nothing set in stone. Feel free to iterate. You can change the shapes into different shapes depending on what you are creating until you have what you are contented with. that this is good. I can take this anywhere. I can take this to Aso Rock. I can take this to the White House, do my presentation, and they'll say I've done a fantastic job. Now, let's build all the other shapes we want to build, okay? I would use the shape that I have. I've already inserted a shape. I don't want to go back to click on insert and keep on inserting. I would use this one I've already entered. I'll click on it and I'll copy and paste. Just to create a duplicate, I'll copy and what? Paste. Copy and paste. So when I click on this, I'll copy Control-C and I'll paste Control-V. And that gives me a duplicate. You can see the duplicates, right? I'll reduce the size. You can see the duplicate. This is another shape, but because it's the same color, it's difficult for you to see the actual shape, simply because it is the same color. So I'll make the color a little bit lighter. Let's make the color a little bit lighter so that it does not blend with the background. So while I'm clicked on this duplicated shape, I'll go to my format. I'll go back to what? Style, and then I'll change the color. Okay, so I'll change the color by clicking on more colors, and then I'll use the same circle. I'll drag it until the shape starts to change to light blue. It's a bit lighter. Let's drag it up a little bit. So it's a bit lighter. You can see the shape is starting to stand out itself. I'll leave it using this light shape, light blue. Okay, let's use this color. So you can see that the shape on its own now stands out on our dashboard. All right. Now what I'll do is, the shape is there, but it's not popping. I can't really see it. I want it to pop up. Okay, I want it to show some level of glow. Let's make it glow and make our dashboard look amazing. All right, I'll click on the shape again. I'll go back to style and I'll go down. You'd see where you have glow. So let's make it glow. Let's add some glow to our dashboard so that it looks better. It looks good. So I'll turn on glow. And once you turn on glow, you see the glow at the background. So you can see that now it glows and it looks a lot better than it looked initially. This is what I want. My dashboard glows and it looks amazing. Okay. Now we're going to reduce the size. Remember, we want a size that will capture all those numbers, the average high, the average low, the average open, the average close, and things like that. So I'm going to make it smaller. So let's adjust the size of this shape, something like this. I'm also going to reduce the size to something like this, okay, to something like this. I want to have 5 of these shapes at the top. Let's make it like this. Always remember, you can always come back to adjust. You can always come back to what? Adjust. So I have this shape. So whenever you click on this blue, very dark background, whatever you created initially will disappear. To bring it back, click outside on the main background, the black background, just click outside and it will appear again. Okay, so now that I've done this, I want to put 5 of this to the right-hand side. So I'll click on it, I'll copy Control-C, and I'll paste Control-V to create a duplicate. Remember, we are creating a duplicate. Okay, I'll bring this to the right. Okay, I'm having the feeling this is too big, but anyways, let's try it out and see. I'll duplicate again, Control-C, Control-V. I have the third one, I'll do Control-C, Control-V. I have the 4th. So I can see I'm not going to have space to the right, okay? So I might want to adjust. There are other ways you can adjust this by increasing the size of your canvas, but I don't want to do that, okay? So I'm just going to adjust the size of this shape so that it will contain all my shapes, the 5 of them. So I'll delete this. I'll click on it and press delete, click, delete, click, delete. I'll reduce the size a little bit to the left. Okay, I'm also going to reduce it to the top, just a little bit. Okay, something like this. Now I believe it should contain, let me drag this to the left a bit, Control-C, Control-V. Okay, I have 2 Control-C, Control-V. I have another one, Control C, Control V to create a duplicate. Just drag it, Control C, Control V, you have another duplicate. So you have all these KPIs at the top. Okay, you can always adjust it, put it right at the side. So I'm going to click on this, hold the Control key on my keyboard. I want to select everything so I can just adjust. Click on this, hold the Control key on your keyboard, click on the second, still holding the Control key, click on the third, fourth, and fifth. And then I can drag them at once. Or I can use the arrow key on my keyboard, the right arrow key to move to the right, the left arrow key to move to the left, down arrow key to move down, and up arrow key to move up. Okay, because I've selected everything. So this would contain all my, average open, average close, and all of that. So I have that at the top. My dashboard is coming together slowly and steadily. Now, the next thing we'll do is to create the other part of our foundation. We are building the foundation, remember, don't forget. So I'll click on one of these shapes and duplicate again, Control C, Control V. And I'm going to bring this down here, just a little bit below this, like this. And then I'm going to increase the size of this to something like this, okay? And I'll increase the size of my shape to something like this. I want to put those shapes right below each other. So I'll take this one, put the next one down, copy and duplicate again, put it down again. My format shape of my Power BI doesn't have style. It should have style. Ifea Kachuku. Let's do it. Let's look at this and see. All right. So I have the first shape. I'm going to duplicate this, Control C and Control V again to create another of that shape. So Control C, Control V. I'll bring this down. Okay. And I'll do a Control C, Control V, copy and paste, and I'll bring this down as well. Okay. So let's bring this down. The one at the bottom, I'm going to make it longer. Okay. I'm going to make this longer. I want to put in I'm going to put in a trend. That is where we would use to forecast. All right, so let's cover this space. I'll bring this down a bit, or I can increase the size just a little bit like that. Okay, let's leave this. So you can see we are almost done building our foundation. We have one more or two more stuff to build to the right-hand side to cover this space. So I'll also select any of the shapes. I'll duplicate again, Control C and Control V. And I'm going to put this here. Okay. I'm going to put this here like this. All right. And then I'll put in the last shape. Control C, Control V. I'll put that here. Okay. This is my foundation. You can always adjust what you have at the top. We're going to adjust it when we are done. Okay. You can always adjust this. All right, let me bring this here to cover up this space. So like I said, when you are doing yours, please feel free to make some adjustments if you want to. Nothing is set in stone. You can always make adjustments across your entire dashboard. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust this. I'll leave it like this. Let's leave it like this for now. Okay, so this is my foundation. Once you have built your farm, how do you decide on which shapes or style? The shapes or style depends on you, on how stylish you are or how flashy you are as well. Okay, that's me just joking. But again, your shape depends on how you want your dashboard to look like. Now, for me, what I do is I've created a dashboard in the past, so I can always think of creative ways of positioning different things. But if I've not done it before, I can get, like you're learning something new today. You've seen how I built this one. Once you can build this one, subsequent dashboards can follow the same templates. That's the idea. Okay, that's the idea. And of course, in a Power BI class, in the main class, how you structure and how you put your dashboard, your shapes, you would learn all of that in a typical Power BI session. All right, now that we've done this, our foundation is complete. It's time for us to mix up the cement, mix up the granite, mix up the concrete, put the iron rods, and start to build. In the process of mixing all the cement, doing all of that, we're going to create a little bit of calculation. The calculation that will show us the total or the average open, not total, because we are dealing with historical data, remember, of 5 years data. For the past 5 years, we cannot use total. We can't use the sum. It will give us the accurate, picture of the price of Ethereum. So we want to use the average. So give us the average for the past 5 years. All right, that's what we want to create. And we're going to create that by writing some calculations in our Power BI. So it's time for us to mix up those cements by creating our calculations. The first calculation I'll do is for my average open price. The next one would be for the average close. And then I'll do my average high, my average low, my average volume. How do I create those calculations? Straightforward, very, very simple. All you need to do is go to your table, the table that you named ETHUSD. Go to that table, right-click on the table. Once you right-click on the table, you see where you have new measure. Click on new measure. Once you right-click on the table and click on new measure, you would see something like a drop-down. The drop-down would say, enter your calculation here. The calculation I want to do is average open price. That's what I want to do. I want to see the average. I want to calculate the average open price. So I'll take out what I have there and I'll type AVG, which is average. Let me make it capital letter A. So AVG, average open. Average open equal to what? Average. So as I start typing average, AVE for average, you'd see the average function pop out. I'm going to select what's the average. I click on average. Once you click on average, it would ask you, which of the columns do you want to average? I want to average the what? Open, because this calculation says average open. So what I want to average is what? Open. I'll click on open, and then I'll close the brackets and hit enter on my keyboard. Straightforward. And that's the same logic, that's the same process we will use for all the other calculations we'll do. So I'll hit enter, and that gives me the average open. You can see that I've calculated it. You can see that calculator symbol right in front of average open. That's how you get it done. Now that I've created average open, I'm going to create the what? Average close price. Average close. So let's create the average close. The same process, the same logic, the same idea. I'll go to the ETHUSD table, right click on the table and click on what? New measure. Once you click on new measure, you see the drop down again. Take out what you have there, type what? AVG, average close. The average close price equal to average. I start typing average. You see the average function pop out again. Click on average. The average would ask you, what column exactly do you want to average? What am I calculating? Average close. So the column I have to select is what? The close, the average close. So I'm going to click on what? Close, and close the brackets. Once you do that, hit what? Enter. So I've done my average close. I'm good. I'm getting somewhere. I have 3 more to calculate. My average high, average low, and average volume. Okay, so let's create the average high. The same way, the same logic. Right click on ETHUSD, new measure, and then we want to create average high. Average high equal to average. I click on the average function, and then I click on what? High. That's what I want to calculate, average high. And I close the brackets. Hit what? Enter. Once you do that, you see average high calculated for you. Now let's calculate the average low. Average low, the same logic, the same process, right? Click on ETHUSD, new measure, and then you create the average low. So if AVG low, average low equal to average, I click on the average function, and then I click on what? Low, average low. I click on low. Once you click on low, you close the what? Brackets, and then you hit enter. That calculates average low. You're almost done. You have just one more calculation. The high is not the height. Average high means the Ethereum price you have within a particular period, you have the highest amount of Ethereum. So today, Ethereum is $1,300, for example. So sometime today, Ethereum might go as high as maybe 1,005. So what was the highest within that period? That's the average high. That's what we're trying to look for. That's what we're trying to calculate. All right. Now the last one is the average volume. So what's the total volume of Ethereum that was traded? Okay, we want to see the average volume. Same thing, go to the ETHUSD, right? Click on ETHUSD, new measure, and then average volume, AVG volume equal to average. You select the average function, and then you select what? Volume, average volume, close the bracket, and then hit enter. All the cement you need to build your house has been created. You've created everything. Now it's time to start casting and to start building your dashboard. It's time to start casting and to start building your dashboard. Okay. Now, for all the things you would have at the top, your average open, your average close, your average high, your average low, and your average volume, let's start building it one by one. Okay, one by one, let's start building. Make sure you click on the black space outside before you start building any visual. So to visualize what you have calculated, your average close, average high, you're going to use one of these visualizations over here. And these are the visuals we would use to build our dashboard. And the first visual we'll use is the visual for what? The card visual. The card visual will give us the card to show us the value for the average high that we've calculated, the average low that we've calculated. We're going to use the card visual to visualize, okay? So let's start. I'll click on the card, and once I click on card, it would appear blank on my screen. But then, of course, the reason why we are here is how to make this amazing. You need how to learn how to do these things and create a dashboard that would stand you out. So let's adjust it. I'm going to adjust it and put it into the first box at the top. Okay, so let's adjust. I would adjust it and put it into this first box right at the top. Okay, so let's adjust, adjust, adjust. Something like this. All right, something like this. So that fits into that box. I'll click into that card. And then what do I want to put? If I click on the card, under my visualization, you have fields. What do I want to put under fields? I want to put my average what? Open, the average open price, which I have calculated. So I'm going to click and drag average open, drag it from where it is, drag it and drop it under fields. And when you drop it, you'll see a value pop out. Average open is what? 1.09 thousand. That's the average open price. Okay, that's the average open price. I'm going to adjust that. Again, you want to make everything look good. That's data visualization. Our visuals should look very good. All right, now let's adjust it until it's good enough for us to present to even the president of the United States of America. I'll click on this card visual and let's format, okay? So I'll first of all go back to under visualizations. I have what? Format your visual. I'll click on that. And I want to take out that white background. The white background makes it look funny. The white background is not making the value to pop, okay? So I'll click on format background. I'll click on general. And under general, I'll go to effects, click on the drop down under effects. And where you have background, it's currently on, I'll turn it what? Off. Click on the slider and the background is off. So now that the background is off, because the value you have there the font color is a little bit dark. It's no longer showing. We're going to adjust that as well. To adjust it, to show the font, I'll click on what? Visual. I'll click on visual and I'll go to call out value. The call out value is where you have that figure with the font color showing a little bit dark. I'll click on call out value and you can see the color is black. I'll change it to white. So I'll click on color and I'll change it to what? White. I'll click on white. Now that you've clicked on white, you can see it now shows clearly. All right. What we're also going to do is to reduce the font size. It's a bit too big. Let's reduce it a little bit. So I'll reduce it from here. Let's make it 25. Okay, 25. I'll make it bold. I'll click on bold. All right. But you have something at the bottom. You can't see that thing at the bottom. There's something called the category label. Let me show you what it is. If I expand the card, you can see that label that says AVG open. I want to take it out. I want to take that label out, okay? That label is called the category label. I'll go to my visual. I'm currently on call out value, right? I can drop this. You can see the category label is currently turned on. I'll put it off by clicking on the slider. So it has disappeared. I don't need it to be there. I can now resize this back. Okay, so now we can see the average open price is $1,090 or something like that. That was the average open price for Ethereum. Okay, now we don't have anything that says average open, so it might be a bit difficult for us to figure out what is 1.09K. Does it mean anything? We are not sure. All right, so let's add a text that will tell us exactly what this value says. Okay, how do I add that text? I'll go to insert and I'll click on what? Text, add a text box. Okay, I'll click on add a text box and you see the text box appear and I'm going to type what? AVG open, average open. I'll type it in there, I'll select. Okay, I'll select. I'll make it bold. I'll make it bold and I'll also center. Or let's leave it the way it is. Let's not center. Let's leave it the way it is. Average open. I'll leave the font size as 10. I'll resize. Resize it something like this. Let's reduce the size. We don't need a big size, right? We don't need a big size. Let's leave it as something like this. And I'm just going to drag it. I'll click on it and drag it to the top. Okay, click on it and drag it to the top, somewhere here. All right, just drag it to the top left corner, somewhere that just shows average open. Okay, yes, Power BI is data, it does data visualization, absolutely amazing for you. All right, now it has a white background as usual. We don't want the white background. All those white background, take them out, okay? So make sure you are clicked, go to your format at the right-hand side, go to effects, click on the drop-down under effects, and where you have background, turn it off. Click on this to turn it off, it's gone. But because the white background is gone, you can't see the dark font anymore. Just go in there and select. Just take your cursor, your mouse, take it in there and select what you have and change the font color. Change the font color to white. And then you have your average open. I think I deleted something. Okay, you have your average what? Open. Sorry about this. I'm just going to adjust. Yes, average what? Open. Average open. So you have your average open price. Okay, we're going to do for the average open, the average close, average high, average low, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to take this because I don't want to always create things from scratch. I've done it the first time, I've done the hard work. I'm not going to do all of that from scratch again. I'll just click on what I've created. I'll click on this card, I'll copy, and I'll paste, Control C, Control V. copy and paste. I'll drag it and bring it here. Why do I have to do it all over again from scratch when I've done it the first time? Okay, just do it once, copy and paste. So I have a duplicate of the average open, average open, average open. But the second one is the average close. That's what I want to do. Okay, so I'll click on this duplicate. I'll go to my fields where I have average open on the duplicate, and I'll take it out by clicking on X. X will take it out. I'll then take average close, drag it, and drop it under fields. So I have my average close, 1.11K. All right, my 1.11K is my average close. So I'm going to copy this text box. I'll click on it and duplicate. Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, and I would also drag it and put it here. Okay, so I'll change open from open to what? Close. Average open, average what? Close. So I have average open, I have average close. Average open, average close. Okay, now we are also going to do average high and average low. The same way, the same process, step by step, we are building our amazing dashboard. I'll copy this and paste, Control C, Control V. Drag it to the right. I want to put in my average high and my average low in here. Okay, this is the duplicate of the average close, right? I'm going to take out average close by clicking on the X, and I'll take my average high, drag it and drop it. And that's my average high. So this means that Ethereum opened at $1,090. It closed at $1,100. But within that period, when it opened and closed, within that period, the highest was $1,300 and something. This is the high, the average high within the period. Okay, I'll copy my text box, Control C, Control V. I'll take it there. Okay, move it to the left a bit, and that's my average. Sorry. I'll just undo, and that's average high. Average what? High. Average high. Okay, so average open, average close, average high. Now I want the average low. I'll do the same, copy this, Control C, Control V. I'll bring it here for my average low. Okay, I'll just bring it here like this. I'll take out the average high from the fields, click on X to take it out, drag average low, and drop it under fields. So within that same period, when Ethereum went as high as 1,300, it also went as low as $874. Okay, so I'll copy this. I'll copy the text box, Control C, Control V. I'll drag it to the average low. Okay, and I'll type average what? Low. Average low. Okay, average what? Low. So that's the average low. Now, the last but not the least is the average volume. So the same way, I'll copy Control C, Control V. I'll drag this to the right, and I'll take out average low from fields, and I'll bring average what? Volume. So within the same period, Ethereum traded a total volume of 380 billion. 380 what? Billion value of Ethereum traded within the same period. Okay, so I'll copy my text box as well, Control C, Control V, and I'll take it here and I'll call this average what? Volume. Okay, average VOL for volume, average volume. Now I have all the things I need to be at the top of my dashboard. Okay, now we'll just need to start building all the other visuals to help us see the performance of Ethereum over the last 5 years. Our dashboard is taking shape, and you can see what I showed you on the slide. It's taking shape, and you can start to see how you get something like this done. Okay, now let's also see, since the average open price and the average close price are very important, So if I'm a trader, for example, I want to know what Ethereum opens at and what it also closed at. Because if it opened at 109 and I bought Ethereum that period and it closed at 1,100, I would have made a profit. If it opened at a value that is higher than the closed price, it means I would make a loss. Because if it opened at something and you bought it at that particular amount, and when it was closing, it was lower, and that is when you sold, you're going to lose money, okay? So we want to see the price of Ethereum based on the average open and the average close. And I would use a visual, a different visual entirely called the ribbon chart. I'll use the ribbon chart to show that particular visual. Okay, I'll use the ribbon chart. So I'll click on the ribbon. You'd see it appear as usual. It is blank. I'll adjust it to fit the foundation that I've built on my dashboard. So let's adjust it. That's the ribbon. That's the ribbon chart. I selected the ribbon chart. Okay, what I want to do is I want to see over the years from 2018 till 2022 till date, how much value in terms of open and in terms of close. What's the comparison between the two? That's what I want to check. All right, so I'll select my ribbon and then I want to take my dates. So I'll take the dates, I'll drag my dates and drop on the on the x-axis. So take dates and drag on the x-axis. And whenever you drag any date field, you'll see the hierarchy of the dates, the year, the quarter, the month, and the day. But what I want is the year. That's all I want. I want to see the year. So I'll take out quarter, I'll click on X. I'll take out the month, I'll click on X. I'll take out the day, I'll click on X. So I want only the year. And then I want to show the average open and the average close. All right. So I'll take the average open, I'll drag the average open, I'll drop it on the y-axis. And I would also drag the average close and drop on the y-axis under the average open. And then you see the ribbon chart form on your dashboard. Again, we want to make this look good. We want to make this look good. So what I want to do is I'm going to take out the background as usual. Okay, I want to take out the background as usual. George is asking, so the KPI is always about the average. It doesn't always have to be about the average. It depends on what you're trying to show. Remember, what we want to show is the price of Ethereum. What's the performance of Ethereum? If we use the total, which is the sum, it wouldn't give us the accurate performance because we are using historical data for the last 5 years. So we want to see the average within the last 5 years. That's why we're using the average. It is not sacrosanct that for every analysis you do, you must use the average. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so I'm going to click on this chart. I want to take out the white background so that it blends into my dashboard. So I click on Format. I click on General. I go to Effects, and I'm going to take out the background. Okay, the background is on. I'll take it out. So the background is gone. Okay, and whenever you take out the background, you see that you need to adjust the colors so that the colors would appear good. And like I said, always look visually appealing on your dashboard. Okay, so I'll click on that. I want to change the colors as well. First of all, the color of all my text and then the color of the visual itself. Okay, so let's make that change. I'll first of all click on visual. I want to change the color of the years from 2017 to 2022. I want the color to be white so that it is visible. Okay, so I'll go to my x-axis. I'll click on the drop down and I'll go to values. On my x-axis, I'll go to values and then I'll change the color from what it is to what's white. The colors would what? Change. All right. Now I want to change the color of the ribbon so that the ribbon also has a different color. Okay, so let's change the color of the ribbon itself. Now from visual as well, I'll go to ribbons, click on the drop down under ribbons. My average open, I want it to have a light blue color. So I'll click on this, I'll select the lightest blue, or let's see, let's select this type of blue and so that's for my average open, right? For the average close, let's use it and let's use a lighter color of white. Okay, now let's make this blue a little bit darker so it doesn't blend with the average open price. The average open has a lighter blue. Let's use a blue that is even a little bit darker so that it's the contrast is much more than what we have. All right, so let's use this blue color. So I'll click on this. So this looks better. All right, so you can see the blue color, and then the average close is what? White. Now, what do you notice? You notice that for all the period where your average close is more than the average open, you are likely going to make a profit. What does it mean? It means that you bought low and it closed high. So you're definitely going to make a profit. Okay, that's simply what this means. Now, I would also change the color of the title, change the color of my legend so that everything shows clearly on my dashboard. All right, so I'll click on this. I'll go to Format, click on Format, and then I want to change the color of the legend. So I go to the legend, I click on the drop down, I go to text, I click on the drop down, and then I change the color from what it is to what? White. You can see the color also changed. The last thing I'll change on this visual is the title. Okay, so I'll click on General, I'll go to Title, click on the drop down, and then I'll change the color from black to what? White. So that's it. I'll also reduce the font size for the title. Let's reduce the font. It's currently on 14. I'll change it to what? 10. Okay, just to make it smaller and we don't have something too bogus. So this is what it looks like. This is what our chart looks like. I can also add the label so I can see the value. What value is the average close? What value is the average open? So still clicked on this chart. I'll click on Format and I'll add my data labels. Okay, I'll click on the slider to turn it on and I can see my data labels. The labels are white. That is why I can't see the one on the white colored, side of my chart. So I'll make the labels what? Black, so that they pop out and I can see exactly what it is. Okay, so I'll go back to my label, click on the drop down, and I'll change the color of my values on the label from what? The current color to black. All right, so now you can see in 2021, for example, the average open price was $2,600, and the average close was $2,800. So for those that would have traded within that period, they're definitely going to make some money because what you bought was smaller and what you sold was a lot higher. All right, now that we've seen this, you can see in 2022, the average open is higher than the average close, which means at the point usually when you buy Ethereum, before you sell, by the time it's closing, it is lower than the opening price. And that's where you see a lot of people keep on, you lose money in that kind of scenario. So we are starting to see how the performance can be seen over the years from 2017 till date. In 2017, for example, the average close was higher than the average open. We likely would have made a profit. 2018, average open was higher than the average close, meaning that if you are traded within that period, you lose money. 2019, open was also higher than close. 2020, average close was higher. And in 2021, you can see the difference. The average close was higher than the average open. But 2022, it's even going down. The average open is higher than the average close, meaning that the amount you would have likely bought Ethereum would have gone down by the time you are selling. Now that we've seen this, let's also see in terms of the volume year on year and the average high. So does the volume actually impact the value of Ethereum? So if Ethereum is traded a lot more, the volume traded, does it impact how high Ethereum goes? Let's see. So I want to create another chart, but I'm not going to use this same chart. I want to create a different chart But this time around, I would use the same one I've created because I've done a lot of formatting in terms of coloring, in terms of all, the different formats I've used. So I'll just copy this and paste. I'll copy this chart, Control C, and paste Control V. And I'll bring it down here. Okay, so I'll bring it down here. I would adjust it to fit into my foundation. So I have a duplicate as usual. I have a duplicate, but this time around, I want to use a different type of chart. So I'll click on this. I'll go to my visualization. Okay, I'll go to my visualization, click on my build visual, and what do I want to select? I want to select a chart called the line and clustered column. Line and clustered column. So I want to see the different volume of what? Ethereum, and how high did the value go when the volume increased. So if the volume increase, does the value of Ethereum increase or does it decrease? That's what I want to see. So I'm going to click on that. Okay, I'll click on line and clustered, and I'll change what I have here. What I have is what? Average open and average close. I'll take them out from my column Y. Take it out, take it out. What I want to see is my what? My volume and the average high. Okay, so I'm going to bring my average high. I'll drop it, click on it, drag it, and drop it under Y. So you can see the average high from 2017 to 2022. And then I'm going to take my what? Volume, average volume, and drop it under the Y-axis. So I'll take average volume, click on it, drag, drop it under the Y-axis. So you can see the line, and then you can see the average high. But again, let's make it look better by removing some things and by adding other things, okay? So let's change the colors first of all, and these labels that we have, let's also take it out. I don't need the labels to see what I need to see. So I'll take my data labels out. I'll click on format, and then I'll go to labels, data labels, take it out. Now I can see, I want to change the color as well. I want my average high to be white. I'll go to columns, click on the drop down under columns, and I'll change the color from light blue to what? White. Okay, so that's my average high. And the line shows the volume. You see these lines over here, I want to also take them out. It makes my dashboard look a bit ugly. So I want to take out these lines, all right? So the lines are on my Y-axis. So I'll go to my Y-axis. I'll click on the drop down under my Y-axis, and I'll take out, I'll go to my Y-axis. Where is it? Values. I'm not sure it's under values. Secondary Y-axis, no. Grid lines. I'll go to my grid lines. I'll go to my grid lines, and I'm going to take out the grid lines, okay? I'll go to grid lines, and I'll take out those grid lines. The horizontal grid lines, I'll take them out by turning off the slider, and that takes out the grid lines. So now we can see that we have our average high and our average volume. If you look at the average high, at every point when the average high increased, the volume also increased. So when the volume increases, the value of Ethereum also increases. See, in 2017, it went up. In 2018, the value of Ethereum really did not change so much. In 2019, the value of Ethereum even dropped, even though the volume was increasing. But then it started to increase in 2020. As the volume traded increased, it increased as well. As the volume traded increased in 2021, the average high, the value of Ethereum increased to the highest in 2021 at the value of what? $3,300 to 1 Ethereum. And as the volume dropped a bit in 2022, you can see that the average high also what? Decreased. So this shows you a comparison to show that when Ethereum is traded a lot more, when Ethereum is traded a lot, the value of Ethereum increases. Jude is asking, the ribbon, yes, the ribbon helps us show trend across different years. Okay, Can we see the charts in a different form? Absolutely. You can decide to see the charts depending on how you want the charts to be. Okay, now we have 3 more charts to create, and then we are done with our dashboard. Okay, so I'll take questions at the end of the session so that we have time to do all the things we need to do. Now, let's go to the next visual, which is I want to show the average volume by year. So year on year, similar to what I have here, I want to see the average volume, just the volume. And I want to use a different chart. This time around, I want to use a clustered bar chart. So I'm going to click on clustered bar, okay? Or I can take out the clustered bar and use what I've already created, okay? So let's use it so that we don't have to do too much formatting. So I'll delete what I inserted and I'll take this particular visual. I have done all my formatting here. So you've done something once, you don't want to keep on doing the same thing, doing the same colors, changing it over and over again. You can simply use what you have created initially. So I'll take this particular visual, Control-C to copy, Control-V to paste, and I'll drag that to the right-hand side, adjust it to fit my what? Foundation. But what do I want to show? I want to show just my volume. Just my what? My volume. All right. So I'm going to take out the average high. I'll take that out. Okay. So I'll take out my average high by clicking on the X. Okay. I'll take out the average volume, or I can drag the average volume and drop it under colon Y. Drop it under colon Y so you can see the average volume from 2017 to 2022. You can see in 2021, the volume traded for Ethereum was the highest. The volume has been increasing over time. 2022 is still in September. However, we're not likely going to see the same volume traded in 2021. Okay, we can use a different chart, or we can leave this particular chart if we want to use this. Now let's create our slicer to show the calendar. So you want to select by the period. Remember, we have 5-year worth of data. What if I want to show from June 2018 to July 2019? Can I adjust my dashboard? The answer is yes. Okay, so I'm going to click on the outside. All right, and I'll click on a visual called the slicer. I'll click on slicer and I'll drag my slicer and fit it into the spot over here. Okay, so let's fit it into here, fit my slicer into here. All right, and what I'll do is I want to put my calendar, which is my date. So I'm going to drag my dates and drop it under fields. All right, you have the date over there. I'll take out my background, click on format, general, go to effects, and I'll take out the background. Okay, when you take out background, your colors are no longer showing because your colors are a bit dark. So we'll make the colors lighter. Let's make it lighter. So I'll go to visual, values, and then the color, I'll change the font color to white so we can see our calendar. Okay, you can also see the slider. Let's make the slider white as well. All right, so I'll go to my slider, click on the drop down, change the color of the slider to what? White. So that's the slider. The slider can help us change the dates. If you drag it to the right, the dates will change. You can adjust the dates using the slider. I'll show you how to do that. But now we are doing the last visual on this dashboard. And what we want to show is what? We want to show the trend and forecast the price of Ethereum. Forecast the price of Ethereum. So in January 2023, what would the price of Ethereum likely be? Based on this data that we have for the last 5 years. Okay, that is what we want to show now. Let's create that particular visual. All right, we're going to create that visual. I'll just copy what I already have. Let's use something we have so that we maintain the same format. I'll copy this, Control-C, Control-V, copy and paste. I'll bring it down here. All right, let's adjust. I'll adjust it, adjust. And then while clicked on that particular visual, I'll change it to a line chart. I'll click on line, and you see a trend. So for the gentleman asking, can the ribbon also show trend? Exactly, this is a trend, right? From 2017 to 2022. Okay, now I want to do some things. I don't want to see just the year. I want to see the month as well, but I have just year over here. Okay, so I'm going to go to my x-axis where I have my dates. I'll click on this drop down and I'll click on date hierarchy. Once you click on date hierarchy, it brings up your year, your quarter, your month, and your day. But I want to change this. I'm going to take out quarter. I want to take out day. I want just the year and the month. Once you have your year and your month, click on this drop down to expand it one level down. I'll click on this arrow pointing downwards so that I can see my month as well. I'll click on that, and immediately you can see that your chart will change to show all the months from January 2018, February 2018, March, April, May, all the months, and you can see how the price of Ethereum moved. And we are currently in September. This is the price of Ethereum in September. Okay, but we want to forecast, we want to predict the price of Ethereum. That's what we want to do. So first of all, let's change the color of the line to white to make it look nice. So I'll click on format your visual and I'll go to where? Line. Click on the drop down. I'll change the what? Colors. I'll change the color to what? White. So let's click on this and change it to white. So my color is now what? White. All right. Now, I want to forecast into the future. This is September 2022. What would happen in October? What would happen in November? What would happen in December? Okay. Once more, this is not financial advice. We're just learning how to use Power BI for what? Business intelligence. Okay. Now let's forecast. To forecast, once I click on my line, I'll click on what? This particular icon that says add further analysis to your visual. I'll click on that. And right at the bottom, I have a forecast. I'm going to turn on forecast. Okay, I'll turn it on. Once I turn on my forecast, I'll click on the drop down to what? Expand. Okay, I want my forecast to be based on, let's do 10 months. Okay, I want 10 months. 10 what? Months. So first of all, I'll change it from units. I'll change it to what? Months. Okay, and then I'll change my forecast length is already on 10, so I'll leave it at that. All right, now I'm going to leave it. Let's see. The price, it's not showing, but I'm going to make the change. Okay, so I'm going to click on apply. I'll click on apply to apply what I've just done, but you can't see what I've done because I've not changed the line. So let's change the line so that we can see what the line looks like. So I've forecasted using the month for the next what? 10 months. Okay, so let's check the forecast line. I'll change the color of the line to light orange so you can see the line. Okay, now if I hover my mouse, Ethereum today, the price of Ethereum in terms of the forecast, what do I have here? Average volume. Oh, sorry, I don't want the average volume. I want the average close. That is what would help me forecast. This is forecasting the volume, average volume. But what I want to forecast is the average price, the average close price of Ethereum. So I know how much Ethereum will be going into the next few months. Okay, so while I'm clicked on this, I'm going to take out the average volume. I'll bring in the average close price. Average close price. Okay, average close price. That's what I want. And then let's do the forecast again. I'll click on that. I'll go to my forecast, turn it on. Okay, my points is my month. I'll change it to month. And then I'll click on apply. I'll change the color of my line to light orange. And you can see the forecast amount. You might not really see too clearly, but you see the amounts. The first forecast on for October is 1,441. You have 1,487, 1,532. So the price is really not going to change that much, but you can see it's trending upwards. The price of Ethereum is trending what? Upwards. You can also add seasonality to your points. For example, if you've seen that the price of Ethereum changes very often, we can use the seasonality of 12, for example, to show that the price of Ethereum could change based on a 12-point basis or on a 12-month basis. I change this to 12 and I click on apply. You see that the seasonality also what? Changes a little bit. It now changes to show some level of variation across the price of Ethereum. Now, going into January, this is September, October, November, December, the price of Ethereum is expected to go down to around 1,100. And you can see the forecast of what Ethereum would look like, okay, going into the next 10 months. At the end of the 10th month, which is July 2023, Ethereum is expected to be around $1,600. That's the forecast that we have. That's the forecast that we have for Ethereum. We'll change the color to white and we are done with our dashboard. Let's change the color of the line. So I'll go back to formats. I'll go to line, click on the drop down, and I'll change my color to what? White. Okay, I'll change the color to white, we can see. And then I'll put the header. I want anybody who sees the dashboard to know exactly what I'm doing. Okay, how can I get Power BI to practice? I can't see where you got the forecast. The forecast was gotten from this icon that says add further analysis to your visual. You click on that, and once you scroll to the bottom, you will see the forecast. Turn it on, click on the drop down, and then you can make changes. Change it to month, change the forecast length, seasonality, 12 points to show some level of seasonality in your data, and then you click on what? Apply. You'd see the forecast for Ethereum. The price is not expected to change drastically within the next 10 months. Okay, now let's put a header so anybody who sees our dashboard knows that we've created something and this is what we've done. I'll click on any of my text box, Control-C, Control-V to copy and paste. I'll bring it to the top. I'll expand it to the right a little bit. Okay, I'll select what I have, center, to put it in the center, and I'll type Analytics. Okay. Sorry. All right, I'm going to change the color to white. Okay, Analytics, Ethereum, 5-year. Let's call it Analytics 5-year, Ethereum, performance dashboard. Okay, I'm going to make that bold. Let's increase the font size a little bit to 11. Okay, so this is my dashboard. Analytics 5 years Ethereum performance dashboard. You can see the average open, the average close, which shows you that over the year you've had over this period of 5 years, you've had Ethereum actually close at a higher amount. Okay, now we can adjust. We can adjust the calendar. I can go into this calendar and select the specific dates, or I can use my slider. If I click on the slider, I can adjust the dates, and my dashboard would also adjust to show the particular date I've selected. So I've gone to 2021. I can change the date from 2017. If I click on the calendar icon, I can change it from October. Let's go to 2018 March, for example, or April, 1st of April 2018 to 1st of April 2020. Let's try 2020, 1st of April, and let's see the difference in price. 1st of April 2018 to 1st of April 2020. You can see our dashboard has what? Changed to show us the dates for the specific period that we have selected. So within that period, the average open was what? 246. It was higher than the average close price, meaning that within that period, Ethereum did not really make significant profits from that particular crypto. Power BI is super amazing. Now, what I want you guys to do is simple. I want you to go back when you get this recording. Go back and try to build the same thing. Build your own dashboard, try out different colors, do your own forecast to see what your forecast would look like. By how much do you think Ethereum would increase? Adjust your calendars, try different variations, and see how your dashboard would also appear and how your dashboard would respond to all the things you've done. Now, one thing I want to mention is this. What you have seen today and what you have learned today, how we got our data into Power BI and how we created what we have just created. Not everybody, not even people that already know how to use Power BI can do the same. So at the end of today, in your own quiet time, please take your time, go back and try to build the same, okay? I'll run through my dashboard very quickly. I'll run through the rest of the slide. We've seen the dashboard, we've seen how it looks like. I'll do what? Run through the slide and then we'll call it a day. Jude says Power BI is an amazing business intelligence tool. Absolutely, I 100% agree with you. Okay, let's get back to the slide. This is the dashboard similar to what we built on the slide. So please go back, try to build the same, try to do the same. Let's see the amazing stuff you can also do with Power BI. Okay, now you'd ask the question that, Adeza, how did you learn this? If I want to learn it, if I want to get into data analytics, how can I do the same? What are the things I need to learn first? I was talking to somebody today. He has been learning Python for the past 1 year, and he still hasn't been able to get into data analytics. And that's where the question comes. What is the optimal way, based on experience, based on the people you help to transition? What has been the optimal way to get into data analytics? That's what I'm going to show you in the next few slides. All right. Number one, you have to ask yourself 4 questions. And if you can answer yes to these 4 questions, then you are getting yourself into the path of becoming a data analyst. The first question you must ask yourself is, do you know how to solve problems? Or do you know problem-solving techniques? Do you know how to get to the root cause of problems? Do you know the right type of framework, the right type of technique to use to solve a problem? If your answer is no, you must come here to learn problem-solving techniques. That's the first thing you need to learn when getting into data analytics. A lot of people don't talk about this, but it's super important, because how do you even know when you need to use Excel, when you need to use Power BI, when you need to use Python or any other tool? You must know the type of problem. You must know the context, the root cause of the problem, before you decide on the right technique and the right tool to solve that problem. That's the first question. When you've learned problem solving, you go back and ask yourself the question, do you know how to solve problems? If you can answer yes to that question, you go to number 2. Do you know Excel for data analytics? Do you know data analytics with Excel? Not 1 + 1 in Excel, not doing a balance sheet in Excel. No. Do you know how to use Excel for data analytics? Can you get data into Excel? Can you use a pivot table? Can you summarize data? Can you build a dashboard in Excel? If the answer is no, you must learn Excel for data analytics. Excel is that versatile tool, one of the most versatile data analytics tools you can ever learn. Getting into data analytics without Excel I would say it is almost a waste of time. It's similar when I ask you, when you want to build a house, what do you start building before you start stacking your blocks and so on? You said the foundation. Excel gives you that foundation. It gives you that background. It gives you that entry point into data analytics. Once you have learned Excel, you go back to ask yourself the question, do you know data analytics with Excel? If you can answer yes, you go to question number 3. Do you know SQL? Do you know how to write queries? People are sending, don't send in your emails, okay? That's distracting. We're not going to pick emails from the chat, all right? So if you send your email to the chat, we're not going to pick it from there. The recordings will be sent to you, Okay, the recordings will be sent to you. As long as you registered to join this session, you got a notification, you got a message from us or an email from us, you will get the recording if you stay till the end of the session. You don't need to send your email into the chat. All right. Now you go back and ask yourself the question, do you know SQL? Do you know how to use SQL, structured query language, to query databases, to get data from databases? If your answer is no, you must learn how to query databases with SQL, because every single corporate organization you're going to work with, they have their data stored in a database. How will you query the database? How do you interact with the database? Once you've learned SQL, structured query language, that's SQL, you go back and ask yourself question 3, do you know SQL? If you can answer yes, you go to question 4. Do you know business intelligence with Power BI? If your answer is no, you must learn Power BI for business intelligence. You've seen what Power BI can do. I just showed you how to use Power BI to get data from the web and to show insights for historical, Ethereum's price for the last 5 years, historical data. How can you use Power BI to do the same thing to help businesses, to help your organization take data-driven decisions? You must learn Power BI. And what you've seen with Power BI within the last 2 hours, just imagine what you can learn to do in Power BI for an entire Power BI program. Okay, this is the pathway, the optimal pathway to getting into data analytics. Is after you've done all of this, you can start talking about Python and R and all those other things, but you must know problem solving. You must know Excel for analytics. You must know how to query databases using SQL, and you must know Power BI for business intelligence. Okay, we're going to introduce you to a couple of people that we've helped to transition over the years from where they are to where they currently, what they've been able to do when they joined our program and after they joined the program. But we also have some people on the call that will come to also share their experience about the training program. But before I bring them, I want to talk about Uthman. Uthman joined our training program sometime this year, and immediately Uthman wrapped up his internship with us. He was able to land a job with the NHS in the UK as a business intelligence officer. I'll give the full story and the full background of what Uthman was able to do and how we were able to help Uthman achieve his goal of getting this job with the NHS as a business intelligence officer. I'll give you that story. I'll tell you exactly how it happened and the role we played in helping Uthman achieve this particular feat. Okay, we'll also share so many other testimonies from different other people that have joined our training program. But before I come back to share these stories with you, I want to show you what the program is all about. And then we have people on the call that will come back to share their experience with you. All right, I'll go back to the slides to take every individual testimonial so you see what they've been able to achieve at the end of our training program. All right, now the course comprises of what? All those skills we talked about, the 4 key skills that you need to learn to get into data analytics. The career skill incubator will take you from a beginner, a novice, somebody who does not have experience in data analytics, or you already have experience, but you want to improve on that to enable you, position you to get jobs available and opportunities available in the data analytics ecosystem. You want to transition into tech. At the beginning of the year, you said you want to get into data analytics. You want to learn this. You'll be learning how to solve problems, problem solving. You'll learn Excel, Microsoft Excel for analytics. You'll learn Power BI. You see what you've done with Power BI today in less than 2 hours. You'll do so many more amazing stuff, so much more in Power BI. You'd learn SQL. You'd learn how to synthesize insights using data. And then you'd also learn how to visualize data using Power BI and Excel. You saw how we visualize data today using Power BI. You'd learn a lot more in the full program. called the Career Skills Incubator, and this is what the program entails. By the end of the program, every single thing, every single question that we talked about, if you can answer yes to or no to, by the end of the program, all those questions, your answer would be what? Yes. You would have learned problem solving, you would have learned Microsoft Excel, you would have learned Power BI, and you would have also learned SQL to help you query databases. The program is for 2 months, starting on the 8th of October. Happens every weekend on Saturdays and Sundays. On Saturday, for example, the time for the program is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. For 2 months, you'll be learning all these 4 key skills in live classes, live sessions, similar to the one you are currently attending. All the sessions are recorded from beginning till the end. So you actually don't miss anything when you start or when you join the program. So if you miss a class because of emergencies or because you really couldn't attend the class on a Saturday, for example, the sessions are there for you, hosted on a platform, and you have access, lifetime access to that platform. So all you need to do when you get back to your house on a Saturday, just go into that platform and you'd see the class that took place, watch the recording, the material, the data set, the case study, every single thing is there for you to watch. At the end of your program, you get into a capstone project for 2 weeks. The capstone project would help you test the skills that you've learned. So all the things you've learned in problem solving, in Excel, in Power BI, SQL, how to synthesize insights and data visualization, you'd solve a capstone project to test your skills. And while you are working on your capstone project, while you're also going through classes, we have targeted programs to help you navigate the job market by, first of all, helping you optimize your CV. If you have a CV, we help you make your CV better to capture all the skills that you've learned. So there's a CV review session that you join. And then we also help you optimize your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is one of the most fantastic platforms for job opportunities. We're going to help you build a LinkedIn profile if you don't have one. And if you have one, we'll help you optimize your LinkedIn profile. And then we'll have sessions on how to navigate the job market. We know there are different types of people that join our program. Some of them are students currently doing their master's program, and you want the opportunity to get a job, to work remotely and earn so much money. You have a lot of Nigerians in the UK, for example, and all they want to do is care jobs. Not that there is any, I'm not talking down on care jobs. There's nothing wrong with the job itself. But the question is there an opportunity for me to even get better jobs? Okay, so you see different jobs in the UK, most of jobs within the technology space, and they're all handled by Indians and other nationalities. You hardly find Nigerians in those roles, or even other Africans. You hardly find them in those roles. And that's simply because for a role like that, it is largely skill-based, meaning that you have to showcase that you have a skill that you can offer to that organization. And that is where the growth internship comes into play. I'll talk more about the growth internship. The growth internship is a 1-month program that will help you build your portfolio. So by the end of your training, the end of your capstone project, you get into the growth internship program for 1 month, where you work on 6 different cases, 6 different projects to build your portfolio. And by the time you are done, you have a portfolio of 6 projects that you've solved. And when you get into an interview and you are asked, have you done this before? You have proof that you've done it. You see the dashboard we've created. It forms part of your portfolio that you can showcase to recruiters. This is what I've built. I built this using Power BI. I connected to my data on the web. And this was what I did until I was able to create this dashboard. These are the things you're going to get from the program. So before I go further and explain, I know you'll be itching to ask, okay, is it going to cost me any money? How much is it going to cost? And so on and so forth. I want to bring on the people that are here to share their experience with you. So let them come to share their experience, and then I'll quickly wrap up the slide, and then we'll call it a day. I'll show you what the program entails in terms of the fee and exactly when the program will start. And I'll take every question that you have, and before we call it a day. So Damilola, I'm going to hand over to you. So please just call all the people we have on the call to come up to speak and then share your experience, hear from them. They've gone through the program, they'll share their experience with you, and then we'll take questions afterwards and call it a day. Damilola, please, over to you.
Hi, Chika, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, Chika. If you are there and you can hear me, I'm going to ask you, okay, if you're muted, if you can start your video as well so that I can bring it to the spotlight and people can see your face.
Okay.
All right, fantastic. So I'm going to add you to the spotlight. Okay, so let's see Chika. Chika, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. Good evening.
All right, go ahead, please. Good evening.
Yeah, so good evening, Damilola, and every other person, if you remember everybody, and good evening to my fellow students. I'll call them my fellow students because I believe they will all join. So I'm here to share my story as my journey into data with analytics. Believe me, as you can see from the masterclass, it's very rich. 3 months ago, I was in the same masterclass and it changed my mind. I used to think that maybe I know Excel, I know SQL and this and that, but when the class started, it was powerful. And today I can tell you that if I walk into a room full of, for interview or something, believe me, the interviewers, they will know that yes, this is a student of analytics. Everything from problem solving, Excel, SQL, Power. Masterclass was my first encounter with Power BI. And from then, maybe you can, they will show you my portfolio or something like that online. And believe me, this is the best place to be. Even a lot of master students are here to tell you how rich this course and how powerful analytics is. And don't just leave, do the master class and leave. Follow it to the end. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Chika. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that feedback. That was amazing. Chika has been super amazing. He's currently in our training program. And I mean, he's been getting super value, like he said. He joined the masterclass just like you all have joined this evening. And Chika he's done fantastically well. I can see so many questions in the chat. Like I said, I'll take all those questions eventually. We have other people that will join eventually, but before they join, to also come and share their experience. Like I was explaining earlier, the amazing part of the program is not just the technical bits, because everybody can go anywhere to get the technical skills, but it's about the additional skills that you need to actually get a job. Because guess what? Getting a job having a technical skill is just one part of the equation to you eventually getting a job. Do you have a good CV? Is your CV ATS compliant? Do you have the right skills? Do you have the right templates where a recruiter will be attracted to want to see your CV? So we're going to help you build your CV through a one-on-one CV review session. Would help you do that. Would also help you optimize your LinkedIn profile. Okay? This is where recruiters would first of all go to try to bring you on board, see what you're all about. What have you done before? Have you done anything in the data analytics community? Have you built something before? Which is why we always tell our participants, when you build a dashboard similar to what you've done today, go on LinkedIn, post it on LinkedIn and talk about it. Tag us, tag myself, tag Analytics, and then we can comment on it. When somebody goes to your LinkedIn profile, they see that you are not just started, you are not just getting started. That's not your first time in data analytics. You've actually done stuff over the past few months. All right, so it will help you optimize your LinkedIn profile so that you can attract the best of the best organizations across the world. We also help you write a recommendation and reference letter. And I'll talk about this when I get back to Uthman's story and how we're able to help Uthman get a job with the NHS. The NHS reached out to us, sent me an email saying that Uthman was successful in his interview and his assessment. Can we provide a reference for Uthman? Which I did. I provided a reference. I wrote a fantastic reference for Uthman, and by the following day, Uthman got the job. Now, would also help you navigate the job market. And this is one of the most important aspects of the program. How do you ensure that you have the right information and the right strategies to get the jobs that are available in the job market? We'll help you work on that as well. Now, this is a sample of a reference letter that was sent for one of our participants who is in Canada. His name is Olugbemi. You'd see Olugbemi's story. I'm just going to track back to Olugbemi. I'll talk about Olugbemi because Olugbemi's story was super amazing. Olugbemi joined our training program and he started his job as a business data analyst with the Law Depot in Canada on the 19th of September, the 19th of this month. Olugbemi started his job with the Law Depot in Canada. And let me tell you how Olugbemi's assessment went. Olugbemi attended our training program. He attended our internship. Okay, he reached out to me. He had applied for jobs, which is what we always advise people. When you go for a training program, but attended our training, at the end of your training, even at the end of Excel, we start advising you to apply for jobs, even at the end of Excel, without completing the entire program. We told Olugbemi he started applying for jobs, he applied for jobs, and eventually got interview opportunities. Olugbemi reached out to me and said, oh, I have an interview. Can you help me prepare for that interview? We spent over 1.5 hours on a call, on a Zoom call, and we walked through different possible questions that could come up. By the end of that session, Olugbemi was confident enough to go for the interview. He went to the interview, absolutely aced the interview, and then had an assessment. He sent the assessment to me. I saw what the assessment looked like, and I sent him my own feedback on what I feel he needs to do. Olugbemi did that. And by the end of the day, the following day, I got an email saying that I need to reference Olugbemi. I'll show you a sample of the reference that I wrote for Olugbemi. So when I wrote the reference, I sent it back to the company. By the time I sent it to Olugbemi, for Olugbemi to see the reference that I sent to him, he was marveled that if he was the recruiter, he would have no choice than to actually recruit that particular candidate. At the end of the day, we are very, very happy and excited. Olugbemi got the job as a business data analyst. He started his first day on the 19th of this month, 2022. Same with Emeka. Emeka also got a job in the UK with Western Union, the headquarters of Western Union in the UK, after doing his training with us. And like we said, our focus for us is not just to equip you with the skills. The focus is to ensure that you are employable at the end. And what makes you employable? Your CV, your LinkedIn, the navigating the job market. What are the things you need to know? If you are currently on a Tier 4 visa, for example, Tier 4 student visa, what are the things you need to do to help you transition from a Tier 4 visa to a Tier 2 visa? Those are the things we try to prepare you for so that you know exactly what to do. We have something called the Analytics Recruiting Communications, where we bring those job vacancies and those job opportunities to your doorstep. We send them to you based on your specific location. So you can apply for a job if you're in Manchester, for example, or you're in Bradford, or you're in Nigeria, you're in Lagos. What are the jobs available that you can apply for? We send that to you, we make that available to you. We make it easy and seamless for you to apply. Just get the interview opportunity and let us know. We'll help you prepare. Now going back to Uthman. Uthman was fresh out of the university and he joined our training program. So just the same way you attended the masterclass, Uthman attended our masterclass and he saw what we did with Power BI and decided to join. He attended our program, he did his growth internship, but while he was still doing his growth internship with us, Uthman applied, because we always tell you, don't wait till the end, start applying right from the day you finish your Excel class, start applying. Uthman got the invite to come for an assessment. He was sent a data set that would be used to assess him during that assessment center. Okay, I saw the data set and I looked at it and said, Uthman, I'm not going to tell you what to do simply because you have done all of this in class. Take it back, and I want you to go and work on it yourself. Uthman worked on it, and by the time he sent it back to me, all I needed to do was just maybe 10% of the work or less than that. He had done over 90% of what was required. Uthman went into the interview, he aced the interview, aced the assessment, and he got the job as a business intelligence officer with the NHS. Now, for those of you in the UK, you know what the NHS is, and you know how much you would earn as a business intelligence officer. Fresh out of the university, Uthman was able to land this job. We worked with him to ensure that he got this job as a business intelligence officer. There are so many testimonials. Same with Ubong. At the end of Ubong's training with us, it's just after the LinkedIn optimization and CV review, by changing his LinkedIn profile, he started to get job opportunities from PwC, job opportunities from HSBC, and so many other opportunities from Deloitte, from the Big Fours, and eventually he landed a job with HSBC. So many testimonials. I'll talk about Ayuade. Ayuade is another fantastic, story for us. We have so many of them, and we have them on the slide. We're going to send the slide to you so that you can look at it in detail and help you make a decision. Afolake joined our program. She had always wanted to apply for a master's in data science, but because her background wasn't in data science, she couldn't get an admission. What did we do? She attended our training program. At the end of the training, she got a certificate from us and also got a reference letter from us. She applied to her university and she got the admission to study her master's in data science in the UK. This is Afolake's story, and there's so many of them. Like I said, I'm going to share the slide with you so you have the opportunity to go through the slide yourself. Now, because the program is largely centered around helping you get a job, we have partnerships with different organizations, different recruiting agencies in the UK, from Hayes to the Manpower Group to Robert Half, where we send our participants, we recommend our participants to them, and they consider our participants before they consider other people for those roles. So as long as you meet the requirements, you get an invite to attend the interview, and from there, you have a very high chance of landing that job. And this is how your journey would look like. You're going to start from problem solving, number one. When you're done with problem solving, you move to Excel. When you're done with Excel, you move to Power BI. And then you have those special sessions we talked about, navigating the job markets, navigating the CV review, the LinkedIn optimization. We go through that entire program. We build the CV for you. We optimize your LinkedIn profile. You learn SQL, and then you work on your capstone project. By the time you are done with your capstone project, you get a certificate. After your certificate, that's when you move into the growth internship. The growth internship is where you build a portfolio of 6 different projects that would help you stand out whenever you go for an interview. All right. Now you would ask the question, how much is the program fee? How can I get started? What do I need to do to get started? The program fee is £400 if you are joining or you want to make payment from the UK, and if you are paying in Naira, it's 280,000 Naira. Now, remember, I talked about the offer that we had for everybody joining this session today. Now, for the first 20 people to register for the program starts on the 8th of October, 2022. That's 2 Saturdays from today, the program starts. And this is our last cohort for the year. We have a cohort currently ongoing. And in that cohort, we have over 80 people that joined the program, over 80 people that joined that program. The discounted fee, if you're paying in pounds, instead of paying £400, you get to pay just £300. And you can make your payment in 2 installments. You can pay £200 to get into the program, and before the end of the program, you pay the balance of £100. If you're joining from Canada and you want to make your payment in Canadian dollars, instead of paying the fee of 600 Canadian dollars, you get to pay a discounted fee of 500 Canadian dollars. which can also be paid in 2 installments of $350 to get into the program and $150 before the end of the program. And if you're paying in Naira, you pay 210,000 instead of 280. So you have a discount of 70,000, 25% discount. And again, like I said, this is because it's our last cohort for the year. By October and December, you are done with your live classes and you start with your project and internship. So come January 2022, you are moving straight into applying for jobs, going for interviews, and getting that job as a data analyst that you've always wanted. If you are paying in Naira, you can make your payment 140 to get into the class, to get registered for the class, get started, and then the balance payment of 70,000 before the end of the program. This is not available to everybody. It's only available to the first 20 people to register. Just the first 20, the discount is only available to the first 20 people to register. So many of you have attended our previous master classes, but you haven't been able to make a decision. This is the last cohort for the year until January 2023. So if this is something you have always wanted to do, you've always wanted to tap from the experience of professionals in the UK, professionals in Canada, professionals in the US to help you transition into data analytics. The time to join or the time to start is now. So if you want to make payments in pounds, for example, you can pay to our account currently on the screen, or if you are paying in Naira, you can pay to our Fidelity Bank account also in Naira. Again, the discount is open to the first 20 people that registers for the program starting on the 8th of October, 2022. Now, when you make payments, all you need to do is send us a message, a WhatsApp message to our WhatsApp number. Just send us a message, we confirm your payments, and then we send you a welcome kit. The welcome kit contains all the things you need to get started in the program, from all the applications that you need to the data set, to the case studies, and every single thing you need to get started in the program. All right? I'll take questions from the charts. I'll look at what the chart entails. Will there be a discount? So that is the discount I have just given you, Ido. Can you come again with the price and enrollment procedure? Good. To get into the program, all you need to do is to make the deposit payments. You can make payments in pounds, you can make payments in Canadian dollars, you can make payments in US dollars and in Naira. If you're paying in dollars, for example, instead of paying $400, instead of paying $500 for the program, you get to pay just $400. And you can make the payment in 2 installments to make it easy for you to join the program. If you're paying in dollars, you can pay $300 for your first payment to get into the program. And before the end of the program, you pay the balance of $100. Once you've made your deposit payment, the first payment, you get a welcome kit. All right, you send us the proof of payment. You just take a screenshot of the payment, send it to our WhatsApp number on the screen. We confirm your payment, and then you get the welcome kit. Okay, you didn't mention anything about Tableau. Yes, I did not mention anything about Tableau. That's simply because when it comes to business intelligence application, Power BI is the leader in business intelligence. Power BI is what? The leader. I'm going to send something to you in the chat, and I want you to go check it out. Oyin Consola, check for the Gartner Magic Quadrant for business. The Gartner Magic Quadrant. Damilola, you can type it into the chat. Please type it. The Gartner Magic Quadrant for business intelligence platform. Okay, Oyin Consola, just Google that and you see that for the past 8 to 9 years or even more, Power BI has always been the leader when it comes to business intelligence. So when we are teaching business intelligence, we do what? We help you learn what is relevant and what would sell you out there. Okay, the CSI means Career Skills Incubator. So for us, it is not just the technical skill. That's why we don't call it a data analytics program. We call it the Career Skills Incubator. So apart from the technical skills you learn, You also learn all the things that would help you get a job at the end of the day. How would work with you, how would prepare you to ensure that you get that job that you want to get as a data analyst. Okay, so just search for the Gartner Magic Quadrant, you'd see what that entails. Now, I'm just quickly, if you want to pay US dollars as well, you can send the payment to our dollar account. And if you are paying in Canadian dollars, you can also send the payment to this account. Now, let me tell you what typically happens. We had a session like this for those in Canada. Okay, we had a session last weekend on Sunday, we had a session for people in Canada. They joined the program and we had 20% discount similar to what we are offering. Before the end of Monday, the entire 20 slots were gone before the end of Monday. And we had people reaching out to us to say, oh, can I still get access to the discount? Will you make the discount available to us? Now, what I'll say is, if it's something you want to get into, you've always wanted to transition, you want opportunities where you can work remotely, you can work from home, you can apply to jobs as a data analyst, work from home in different locations, then this program is for you. We're going to literally handhold you right from the beginning until the end. When you get an interview, we drop everything, dedicate our time, prepare you for that interview until you are able to get a job, at the end of the day. Oracle, there is nothing related to Oracle in this program, or in Consola, nothing related to Oracle, and I haven't said anything related to Oracle since the program started. Oracle certification is something else entirely. This is not Oracle. This is the Career Skills Incubator to transition into data analytics. Okay, now, who are the people that will train you? Who are your facilitators? Yours truly, I'll be one of your facilitators. I'll teach you how to use Power BI as a tool, similar to what you've learned today. The difference is in the main class, it is more relaxed. We take our time, show you all the concepts one by one. Over the years, I've been able to help over 15,000 people transition into tech. Okay, I'll be one of your facilitators and also the co-founder of Tenalytics, Efemena. Efemena works with Teleflex. Teleflex is a medical technology company in the UK. Efemena works with Teleflex. He's a data scientist with over 7 years experience. Efemena will also be one of your facilitators during this program. You also have Obina. Obina is a data scientist with Access Bank in Nigeria. Over 6 years experience in the financial services industry. Obina is also going to be one of your facilitators of the program. So you have a wealth of depth of background, diversity as well across different sectors to help you navigate your way around data analytics. You also have Ibrahim. Ibrahim Animashaun is a machine learning engineer with Brands Dental in the UK. He's also going to be one of your facilitators as well. You have Chinazam. Chinazam is a data analyst in Ireland. He's also going to be a facilitator on the program to help you in your journey to getting into data analytics. You have Emmanuel. Emmanuel is the lead for data and insight in Softcom. Okay, for those of you in Nigeria, of course, you know Softcom. Emmanuel will also work with you in your journey. And we also have the head of HR for Pedavo. He's also one of our faculty members who would also teach you, is a HR professional, who would also be one of the people that will work with you to help you position you for opportunities that are, so you have a wealth of knowledgeable facilitators that will help you transition. Is it a good time for somebody changing career and over 40 years old? I'm currently working with a lady who has been in the public sector for the past 26 years. Okay, she's over 50 and we are currently helping her transition. So age is not a limit. Age is not a limitation. It's not a barrier to what you can achieve. Okay, this is also Bolahon. Bolahon is a friend of the house. He's also one of the facilitators. He's been in the UK and he's been in the UK for the past 10 to 11 years or even more. And he works with the State Bank of India in the United Kingdom. He'll be one of the people that will also help you transition into data analytics. Now, again, the slide is available to you. We'll send the slide to you. You have all the details of every single thing that you need to know about this program. One thing I also want to leave you with is the different profiles available in the data analytics realm. Now, people will tell you to go out there and apply for data analyst role. If you see data analyst role, apply. But guess what? Most of the roles you'd see are not, the nomenclature does not say data analyst. Okay, it's totally different and it's difficult to actually decipher what a particular role is all about. For example, you see something like business intelligence analyst, and you don't know that as a data analyst, you can actually apply to that role and get the job as a business intelligence analyst. Just like the way Usman was able to get a job as a business intelligence officer. Every single assessment Uthman wrote to get that job as a business intelligence officer with the NHS in the UK was 100% Excel, 101% what? Excel. But the role did not say data analyst. It said what? Business intelligence officer. And these are some of the things we also bring to you so that you know that you have a wide range of possibilities and a wide range of opportunities to look for the particular opportunity that would help you stand out. Now, the average annual salary of a data analyst in the UK would range from 35,000 to around 60 to 80,000, depending on your level. But for an entry level data analyst role, it's around 35,000 pounds per annum. And for different locations as well, for some areas, it's 40,000, depending on the area in the UK where you are or the area where you're trying to get a job as well. For example, in a location like Manchester and also in London, for example, the average salaries are a lot higher in those locations. In Manchester, for example, it's around 47,500. Okay, so at the end of the month, you are going home with a substantial amount per month as your take home, even after excluding, the taxes and all of that. You have a reasonable amount of money that you would never make as a care worker, you would never make as an Uber driver, you would never make as a delivery, personnel, and so on and so forth. Okay, time is fast spent. I'm going to wrap up in the next 5 minutes. If you have questions, please send your questions to the chat. I'll take every single question you have and then we'll wrap up. Now, like I said, the slides will be available to you. You'd see all the details of the things you'll be learning. For example, problem-solving techniques. Problem-solving techniques, you'd learn how to get to the root cause of problems, okay, using the 5 why techniques, the McKinsey-Meese model. The McKinsey-Meese model to solving problems, to help you break down problems into small bits and pieces. Attack each bit of problem until you get to the final solution of that problem. And for Excel, some of you would be a bit worried to say that, can I actually join this program? From Excel, we start right from the beginning, introduction, right from the foundation. And by the time you are done with Excel, you are building dashboards using pivot tables and pivot charts. Okay, so all the nitty-gritty, same with Power BI. You start with the introduction into Power BI, and then you build your way until you are able to build an amazing dashboard similar to what I did, and even a lot more than what we've seen in this session today. With SQL, we also start right from the scratch. What is data? What is a database? And so on and so forth. Okay, so this will be sent to you, and these are dashboards our previous participants have built. They posted on LinkedIn, and all we did was capture it, get it from LinkedIn so that we can show it to you. All right. When you get the recording, when you get the slide, please go through the slide, look at every single testimonial. Okay. Look at the detail of the program. And then if this is something you've always wanted to do, you will not get any better value anywhere else. And you have an amazing opportunity to take advantage of the discount, because come Monday, come Tuesday, the entire 20 slots will be gone. That's a guarantee. All right. Again, the first 20 people get advantage of taking the discount. If you're paying in Naira, instead of paying 210,000, you get to pay 140 to join the program. And by the end, before the end of the program, you pay the balance of 70,000. All right. If you are paying in pounds, instead of paying 400, you get to pay just 300 pounds. And then you can pay in 2 installments, 200 pounds to get into the program. And before the end of the program, you get to pay 100 pounds. All right. And you have the account details on the screen to get into the program. What I'll do is I'm just quickly going to show you one last thing, and then we'll call it a day. One last thing, and then we'll call it a day. Somebody with a huge gap on their CV be able to get a job after this course. Now, what do you mean by a huge gap on your CV? Now, you have not worked as a data analyst, all right? You've not done that before. What would help you do to cover that gap, for example, the perceived gap that you have on your CV is simple. You cover that with projects. What are the projects you've worked on? I've worked with a company called Tenalytics. That's what I've done. And I've been able to do this, build this project, do this and do that. What is most important is get your feet into the door. You don't need to get a job initially that will pay you 2 million per month, or that will pay you, 35,000 per annum. You could get a job that's a bit lower than that to get your foot into the door. Just get one leg into the door. That's all you need. And then after 6 months, you've learned in a particular organization, you can then apply for higher roles and negotiate higher salaries. Employers in the UK want you to show UK experience. And that's also where we come in. All right? All you need to do is to simply say you've worked with us in the past, and this is what you've been able to do. This is my dashboard. This is my portfolio. This is what I've done. Okay? All they need to do is to reach out to us, to ask us, can you provide a reference for this gentleman or this lady who wants to get a job with us? I'll end the session today by just showing you, and I'll show you a sample of the reference we wrote for Olubemi. I'll show you a sample of that reference, and then I'm going to call it a day. Okay, I'll show you a sample of the reference. Let me see if this is it. Okay, I'm not sure which one exactly, but I think it's this. I'll just open it and show you the reference. All right. So this is the reference Lord Depot sent to us. All right. They sent it to me. The reference name, Adeza Suleiman, that's myself. The candidate's name is Olubemi Akaribo. He's the one that got the job with the Lord Depot in Canada that I mentioned. Okay. Now, of course, they asked what's your working relationship with the applicant. I explained he's worked with Tenalytics as a data analyst. I was a direct supervisor while he worked with us. He worked with Tenalytics. He joined us in May, and he's been working with us since that time. All right. What were his primary responsibilities? They also asked that question. And of course, he was responsible for what? Developing key performance indicators, monitoring and tracking performance, so on and so forth. He was using Power BI, Excel, and SQL. He was helping us to deliver learning content, design learning content. I also indicated that, okay, did his skill meet my expectation? That was the question they asked. And I said, of course, Olubemi had and displayed a high level of commitment to his job and will always go the extra mile, to achieve the goals and objective of his role. All right. They also asked me to provide and describe the applicant's key strength. I provided that to them. Adaptability. And here, of course, I don't want to talk about his key strength in data analytics because that's a given. He passed the assessment already. So I don't need to, harp on that anymore. All I did was to show he has softer skills outside the technical skills of data analytics. All right. They asked how the applicant's response to feedback is, and I said he takes corrections and always strives to do better in everything that he does. Okay, in terms of punctuality, I also mentioned Olubemi communicates his appreciation for punctuality is always on time, he's punctual, and he always meets deadlines. Now, this is not the amazing part. Okay, the amazing part, okay, they asked why Olubemi would be leaving Tenalytics. If he's an amazing staff, why is he leaving? He's leaving because he's relocating to Canada. That's why he wants to leave. All right. So they asked the question that, how do you think Olugbemi would perform in this type of role? And I said Olugbemi would perform exceptionally well in any data inclined role that you recruit him for. He would what? Perform above your expectations. And I ended by saying, they asked if I had anything else I would love to say about Olugbemi that I haven't said already. And I said what? Hiring Olugbemi Akarigo would be one of the best hiring decisions you will make as an organization. Okay, this was what we did. We sent it to Law Depot. They acknowledged the email and they sent the reference on a Friday. We submitted the reference on a Monday. By Tuesday, Olugbemi got the job. He was, called to resume on the 19th of September. This was super amazing. And this is what we do on a day-to-day for all our participants. Again, this is what our platform looks like. Okay, for those that have joined, this is the Career Skill Incubator Cohort 11, those that are currently taking our training program. If I go to people, for example, you'd see the number of people that are currently in the class, 78 students. 78 students in the class. I'm a teacher in that class. FMNI is also a teacher, just like we had shown you. And these are the people in the class, the current cohort for the class you are about to apply for. 78 people in that class. Now, like I had said, we had our Power BI class 2 today, all right? Let's also see what they have done so far. So we started by doing a skill assessment session, and then they started their problem solving. So this is the platform, the Google Classroom, where you have all your materials hosted. So if for any reason you miss a class any day, you have the materials available to you. All you need to do, come to the platform, click on the particular program that you missed. Maybe it's problem solving, you missed that on that day, just click on it, okay? You have the class recording, the class video recording, you have the facilitator slide. This is the link to download the slide. And this was the link to also join that particular class. You have so many materials available to you. This is Excel class 1. If you had missed this class, you have the video recording, you have the material that was used. So this Google, and this is the navigating the UK job market that was done for them. You have the recording, the part 1 and the part 2. So you really don't miss anything when you join the program. And if you miss any class eventually, okay, this is what the Google, Classroom looks like. And all the materials are always kept here for you to always come back as a reference. This is an assignment that was given to them yesterday on creating fact and dimension table, parts of the Power BI curriculum. The data set for the Power BI, you can see. To download the data set, you simply click here to download. All right. Now, this is how the program is structured, like I had shown you in my slide. And I'm just quickly going to take questions and would call it a day at this point. It's a time fast spent, and I'll see if we have questions, and then I'll take those questions. There are millionaires here that can help me. I don't know what that means or what you mean by that, Ido. Please, someone should help. Okay, though we are soliciting for people to help you achieve your career growth. Okay. Have you ever provided references for candidates in the UK? Absolutely. And you also have that in the slide where I talked about what we did for Uthman. I'll show you the reference we provided for Uthman. Although it wasn't a document, Uthman's own was a form. We had a link. So this is Uthman's reference, okay? So for the gentleman asking, Uthman got a job with the NHS, and this is the email that was sent. This is a screenshot of the email. Reference for Uthman Yusuf. That's Uthman's name, Uthman Yusuf. That's his application tracking number. This email was sent to me, dear Mr. Deza Suleiman. Uthman has been offered a post as Business Intelligence Officer and has given permission for us to approach you for a reference. I'll be grateful if you could let me have your opinion regarding his suitability for the post by completing the online form available. This was the link I had to click on to fill the reference for Uthman. Okay, That's the employment coordinator from the NHS. So by the time we had filled the form, we did everything. I took a screenshot, I sent it to Uthman so that he saw exactly what I wrote, just in case questions, would come up on anything I had submitted to the NHS as a reference for Uthman. Okay. I think I've taken the questions that we have on the chat. Now, like we said, everybody, you get the recording, you get the material into the program. Don't forget to send us how to download. That'll be sent to you. The WhatsApp number is also on the screen. Adeshola, you can get the WhatsApp number from the screen. Some payments have come in. Joya Sukwo, Samuel Olakunle. So please, once you have made payments, just send us a message. Send us a message to our WhatsApp group, would confirm your payments, and then would send you a welcome kit. Oyin Consola says she has also paid. I can see payment from Donald, Aisha Donald. I can see payment from Nafisat and Sheung Emmanuel. So Aisha, yes, I've seen your payment, Aisha. Aisha Donald, please simply just send us a message to our WhatsApp. That's where we're going to confirm your payment. And then we send you a welcome kit, okay? We're going to call it a day at this point. How do these dashboards be adapted for qualitative data? Aziz, if you want to know how to do this, please join our program starting on the 8th of October, 2022. There is a limit to what you can learn in a 3-hour session, okay? And our time is up. We're going to end the session in the next 60 seconds, and then we call it a day. Now for us at Analytics, while we want you to join our program and ensure you come to get value, we always ensure that we deliver value at every single point in time. Every single point in time, we always ensure that we deliver value to you, okay? So for those that have attended the session today, we want to say a big thank you for joining our session. A big thank you for joining the session. We hope you've been able to get value for your time. Ismail is saying you register for the business analysis. Business analysis, we have 6 different programs starting on the 8th of October, from data analytics to business analysis to HR analysis. We have different programs starting. So if you register for business analysis, there's no reason to be confused. Now, before we call it a day and end the session, I just want to see every single person. So just turn on your video and say hello, and let's say bye, and then we call it an evening. Okay, so just turn on your video. Hi, Tom. I can see Tom on the session. Hello, Tom. How are you doing? Adeshola. Good. I can see you. Fantastic. Grace. Good to have you join us today. Olubumi, fantastic. Hamed, Wale, peace out. Peace out. Good to have you, Wale. Olua Pelumi, fantastic. Good to have you join us today. Ayola, I saw your messages in the chat, Ayola. I saw your messages. Thelma, good to have you. Happy, thank you for joining us. Oyin Consola, thank you for joining us. Kenny, Stephen, Fisayo, Galaxy C7 Pro, I can't see your name. Hamed, Olaniyo, Makume, I'm sure you're not Nigerian. You want to tell us where you're not Nigerian, absolutely. We have Ghanaians, we have Zimbabweans, we have Rwandans in our program, okay? Hi, Tunde. Thank you for joining. Aminat, thank you for joining. Have a wonderful week ahead. I know some of you are busy professionals. You're going to the office tomorrow, okay? So have a wonderful week. I look forward to seeing you join our training program, okay? Enjoy the rest of the short Sunday that is left, depending on where you're joining us from, all right? Have a wonderful evening. The session recording will be sent to everybody. The slides will also be sent to you. Enjoy the rest of the day and have a wonderful evening. Bye, everyone.